Looks like great weather out there in DeKalb for Northern Illinois and BG. What do you expect to see?
Well, I expect Northern Illinois' defense to play better. I mean, that's the bottom line with this team right now. They're giving up way too many yards in the passing game, almost 200 yards a game, 165 on the ground. Now going against a guy like Omar Jacobs at quarterback for Bowling Green. Tremendous talent. I think you have to start with something. Try to stop something from this Bowling Green offense.
Well, I think if you look at Northern Illinois, they're going to have to get the ball into the playmaker's hand. Their playmaker is Dan Shelton, the wide receiver, outstanding punt returner, probably the best return man in the MAC.
When we come back at halftime, we'll talk a little bit about an up-and-down pre-conference season for the Mid-American Conference so far. But right now, we're ready for a little kickoff on Friday night. Dave Pash will lead the way. Dave?
There's an old saying that a path that often seems right to a man leads to destruction. Well, Bowling Green doesn't have a choice but to enter what now seems serene, but shortly will be one of the most ferocious dens in college football. Many people nationally may underestimate Northern Illinois, but Husky Stadium is its own little college football world, with a pack of ravening students waiting like predators for tonight's opponent. The Mid-American Conference takes center stage on Friday night. Northern Illinois and Bowling Green next. Last year's Bowling Green Northern Illinois game was the first matching two ranked Mid-American Conference teams in 30 years. Well, neither is in the top 25 this season. Bowling Green at 1-1, NIU at 1-2. But this game is equally important because conference play means everything in the MAC. Hi, everybody, and welcome to DeKalb, Illinois. Alongside Trevor Matich, I'm Dave Pash. And Trevor, the MAC has 2 bowl guarantees, and they normally go to the Eastern and Western Division winners, and that's bad news for one of these two teams because both of these teams are in the West.
That's right. And last year, Bowling Green won this game, went to a bowl. Northern Illinois lost, did not go to a bowl despite a 10-win season. We're only in September, but we have the feel of a conference championship game in December. It's that important, this game. One of these teams will have a leg up in the conference. The other will go home with an emotional loss.
And certainly, Trevor, there are varying degrees of emotional losses, and unfortunately, Bowling Green suffered a loss a couple of weeks ago that will not be overcome anytime soon. With more on that, let's check in with Rob Stone.
It has been a trying, emotionally draining 9-day stretch for the Bowling Green football family, Dave. September 15th, 10 minutes into his first practice as a freshman, unrecruited walk-on Aaron Richardson fell ill, went to the locker room, and passed away minutes later due to complications from sickle cell disease. Wednesday, or rather Tuesday of this week, he was laid to rest. After that death, the team canceled practice the next day. They held a prayer vigil on the practice field. They met in the locker rooms afterwards, talked about family, life, and being together and being prepared. They are honoring Richardson this year, having his initials on their helmets beginning tonight. And just prior to the national anthem today, they honored him with a moment of silence. A classy act from a Northern Illinois university that went through an eerily similar situation last year when they lost talented player Shea Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, one of 12 people who passed away when a porch collapsed in downtown Chicago. They still honor Shea this season, a patch with his number on their uniform. Guys, today, dedication and unity through adversity will be on display for both teams.
At last, you can watch the greatest Star Wars battles on DVD. But what if you could actually live them? Now, you can play all the Star Wars battles any way you want. Introducing Star Wars Battlefront, the video game, now available. Rated T for teen.
Rush into KFC for a game bucket deal. 6 pieces of extra crispy chicken and 6 honey barbecue wings. Plus a free half-gallon Pepsi Mega Jug, all for just $9.99.
Still have time?
Yeah. Only in Capital USA.
Welcome back to Husky Stadium, where Northern Illinois has won 8 straight games, and a big reason why: they've got one of the rowdiest student sections in college football. It's located right behind the visitors bench, and those students played a major role in the Huskies' win over Bowling Green in 2002 when the Falcons were ranked 16th in the country. You see there just how close they are to the action. A lot of verbal sparring going on 2 years ago between Bowling Green players and Northern Illinois fans, and don't think that the fans have forgotten about that, because the Bowling Green players and coaches certainly haven't. That was a major point of emphasis, Trevor, this week in practice.
It was. They attribute part of the loss 2 years ago here to Northern Illinois to their players getting flustered by the fans, and so they piped in crowd noise in their indoor facility this week. They went so far as to blast Northern Illinois' fight song in their facility in practice.
Bowling Green will receive. Northern Illinois won the toss, deferred to the second half. Chris Nendick to boot it away. It'll be B.J. Lane back to receive the opening kickoff as we are underway in the MAC opener. And Lane is spun down to the 20-yard line. Bowling Green, the number 3 offense in college football last year, but the quarterback from 2003, Josh Harris, is gone. He's turned the keys over to sophomore Omar Jacobs, who in 6 career games, including 2 starts, has 10 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Jacobs from Delray Beach, Florida. In his first start against the Oklahoma Sooners, did not turn it over. 2 touchdowns and threw for over 200 yards. Bowling Green's base offense is 4 wide receivers and shotgun, but here Harris will go under center, or Jacobs under center rather, on first down, and some movement along the offensive line, so we have a penalty flag. Our referee tonight is Nick Define.
Offsides on the defense, contact, number 92, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Our Dos Equis starting lineups, the skilled players, 12 different players with at least 1 catch for Bowling Green.
And Charles Sharon, one of the very best of an outstanding group. This is probably one of the top 4 or 5 groups of receivers in the nation, and Omar Jacobs will have a lot of targets.
Sharon last year against Northern Illinois had 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards receiving. On 1st and 5, back to throw goes Jacobs, going deep, and it's almost pulled in but incomplete. James Hawkins had a shot at it but couldn't pull it to the chest. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Bowling Green's offensive line is senior heavy.
Senior heavy, and none better than senior center Scott Murkowski. This guy has a chance to play on the next level. He is very, very powerful, and he'll be leading the center of that line against a freshman, Adam Schroeder, who's the young man who jumped off sides on the first play. Schroeder knows what kind of a fight he's in for today.
2nd down and 5. At the Bowling Green 25-yard line, it's a running play. And not much there as Brian Atkinson, the standout middle linebacker, first-team All-MAC a year ago, brings down the runner, P.J. Pope. It'll bring up 3rd down. The linebacking core for Northern Illinois is a veteran group led by Atkinson.
Brian Atkinson is an absolute bear in there. He's got great speed, he's got great strength, and he'll be an important part of the center of this Northern Illinois defense to stop the run.
Atkinson, a senior from nearby Chicago. 3rd down and 3. And Jacobs' pass is caught for a 1st down. As the tailback, P.J. Pope, makes the grab. He had 48 catches a year ago to go along with 1,000 yards rushing. And the secondary for Northern Illinois, they were 3rd in the country last year with 23 interceptions. Ray Smith had 3 last year, and he's also right now the leading tackler for this team and 2nd in the MAC. So 1st down for Bowling Green. There are no huddle offense. Shotgun on 1st down from the 33. And Jacobs, who's a very accurate thrower, almost had his man, but it was broken up nicely. James Hawkins, the intended receiver. Ray Smith got his hand in there to deflect the pass to the turf. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And this was a nice pass. There was outstanding coverage, though. You've got Hansbrough, number 12, and then Ray Smith comes in, and because of that, the receiver, Hawkins, loses focus on the ball.
That was a pretty good throw by Jacobs, and the coaches for Bowling Green told us that at this point in his career, he's more accurate and further along in terms of knowing the offense than Harris was, Josh Harris, a couple of years ago. And Harris was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens and is now in the practice squad. And it's pulled in by Charles Sharon, and he has the first down out near the 45-yard line. Sharon, an excellent player. Brian Atkinson makes another tackle. 12-yard gain for Sharon, who now has 100 career receptions.
And Bowling Green opening up with the style that we expected them to do. With all those fast receivers, they're spreading the field, and they've gone empty backfield, meaning 5 wide receivers out there for most of this opening series. Right now, Northern Illinois is only rushing 4, trying to cover with 7.
Head coach Greg Brandon, in his second year, won 11 games last year, and they finished ranked. First time ever that's happened at Bowling Green. A huge running lane for P.J. Pope. And Pope inside the 35, finally brought down at the 32-yard line by Adriel Hansbrough and Rob Lee. 21-yard pickup.
This is one of the things that happens when you spread the field like this. There's a lot of space in there to run, and once Pope gets through that line of scrimmage and through the defensive linemen, the rest of the defense is out wide, and they have to converge back to the middle to have a shot at tackling.
Pope first team MAC last year. Not a lot of carries this year, but now over 100 yards on the season, at over 1,000 last year. From the 32. It's Pope again, and this time he is taken down to the line of scrimmage by Javen Lee. Well, Greg Brandon replaced Urban Meyer, who is now with Utah and obviously doing an excellent job there. Brandon was an assistant under Gary Barnett at both Northwestern and Colorado.
And he's done an excellent job at Bowling Green the last several years. They've had rankings. They beat Northwestern in the Motor City Bowl last year, and he's doing a lot of terrific things to bring this program to some national attention because they've been good now for a while. People just don't know about it yet.
Jacobs to throw on 2nd and 10, has all kinds of time and finds his tight end DeBacco wide open, and he barrels forward to the 15. He was down. He was down at the 16-yard line. So it will stay Bowling Green ball and a first down for the Falcons, but landing will cost DeBacco a few brain cells.
Well, I think he's got a few to spare. He's a good student, but DeBacco's a converted fullback. He hit the, whoa! That's like a pogo stick. That would be dangerous if he came from a higher distance, but as it is, it just looks kind of funny. That's a nice catch, though, by that young man.
And hopefully DeBacco will be okay. Lost a contact. That's all that he lost on that play, was his contact. First down from the 16, flags fly. I think one more look at DeBacco when we get a chance here. Here we go.
254 pounds on the top of his head. That's a good thing he's a short next kid.
Does he even have a net?
Well, not anymore, but I think there wasn't very long to begin with. I think that kind of saved him. Usually if you land on the top of your head, it'll leave you with quite a headache.
Joe Novak, speaking of guys doing an excellent job at a smaller school, when Novak took over in 1996, Northern Illinois was in trouble. They won only 3 games his first 3 years. Last year they won 10 games. As going to the end zone is Jacobs, and what a hit! Oh my! Ray Smith lays out Charles Sharon, but there is a penalty flag down at the 5-yard line.
Well, the thing you want to watch for here is helmet to helmet. If that is what the call is, that's what to watch for.
Like he got him with his shoulder based on the replay that we just saw on the Jumbotron here.
But even if he did, hitting him in the head while he is going up for a ball is illegal. It's a defenseless receiver, and his head is completely off limits in that circumstance.
Personal foul, hit to the head, number 48 defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Oh, it looks like a shoulder to helmet, but it doesn't matter that it's shoulder. Watch the head there. You can't hit him with any part of your body in his head while he is defenseless like that. Well, it was a heck of a hit, though, wasn't it?
Great hit,
My
but
gosh.
illegal.
And that's a good rule to have. That's a very good rule. He could have laid him out without hitting him in the head. He could have drilled him right in the sternum, had a very similar play. You got to protect the guy's head.
It was close to being shoulder to shoulder, but it was shoulder to head, and thankfully Sharon's all right. Couple of scares early here for Northern Illinois. First DeBacco, and then Sharon. But everybody's okay. First down from the 11. And this pass is caught by Magner. And he's banged on a play inside the 2 by Ray Smith. Magner set a Bowling Green record last year with 99 catches.
And those catches coming from quarterback Josh Harris, who's now with the Baltimore Ravens. And Omar Jacobs has done a spectacular job of taking over for Harris. His first real play as a quarterback was at Oklahoma. That's quite a place to get your first start. They wondered if he would have poise there. They wondered if he would kind of freak out because of the noise and the pressure, and they are amazed at how much poise he showed there and how well he ran the offense.
Yeah, they hung in there, lost by 16 points, 40-24, but that offensive line did not allow a sack to Oklahoma, which last year had 45 sacks. And it is enough for a first down. So Bowling Green will have 4 downs to get in from the 1.
In addition to not allowing a sack to Oklahoma, Jacobs threw 2 touchdown passes but was not intercepted. Now that's impressive against that Sooner defense.
Yep, at 218 yards passing. Only 1 sack all year for Bowling Green in 2 games. So first down and goal. It's a running play, and Pope is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Brian Atkinson makes the hit. Well, the nickname for Atkinson is Beast, and that's exactly what he was on this play.
Well, look at the surge right now. It's the red jerseys surging forward, and the guys in the white jerseys were pushed back, and that's why there was no place to run. That's a lot of red piled up on top of Pope.
Joe Novak told us that Atkinson will get a look from the NFL next year. 6'1", about 240 pounds. Second down and goal. This time a play fake, and Jacobs going to take it himself. Touchdown, Bowling Green. Greg Brandon told us he loves this kid. Replaced Josh Harris, who went to the NFL. Jacobs handles himself beautifully on that drive.
And he's 6'4", 224 with a burst, so he gets that big body out, and then he's able to burst into the end zone and break a tackle. That's a strong quarterback.
Sean Swisham, the #1 active scorer in the MAC, on for the extra point. And it's 7-0 Bowling Green. So Omar Jacobs with his first rushing touchdown on a wild and scary drive for Bowling Green that ends in success. 7-0 Falcons.
The Sharp Aquas Liquid Crystal Television. Suddenly, there's more to see.
During the game, complete strangers unite, holding their fingers aloft in celebration of their team's greatness. But after the game, some of those same fans use their fingers for other purposes. When you leave the game, try to exercise some patience. You might even qualify for an Allstate Safe Driver discount, because good sportsmanship should extend to the road. That's Allstate stand. Are you in good hands?
Let's get a pepperoni.
Mushroom.
We got mushrooms.
I want green peppers.
You're so hard-headed. Don't make me come over there. Go put a sock on George.
Just get the Pizza Hut 4-for-all pizza. Then everybody gets what they want.
Cool.
The amazing 4-for-all pizza from Pizza Hut. 4 different pizzas for only $11.99. And for just $1 more, get breadsticks, Pepsi, or cinnamon sticks.
How can we ever thank you?
Well, this is a good start. Gather round the good stuff.
The start to this game, the antithesis of 2 years ago when Bowling Green came to Northern Illinois. with an 8-0 record. Hostile crowd and a 17-3 early lead for Northern Illinois as Michael the Burner Turner rushed for nearly 200 yards as Northern Illinois beat Bowling Green, then ranked 26-17. Here Bowling Green with a 7-0 lead thanks to a 12-play drive orchestrated by quarterback Omar Jacobs, making just his third start. Sean Swisham, who tacked on the PAT, will boot it away for Bowling Green. Garrett Wolfe back to receive along with Lionel Hickenbottom. And it'll be Wolfe at the 3. Wolfe past the 20 and cut down to the 25-yard line. Jelani Jordan with the tackle on special teams.
And this is just a terrific individual play on a play that breaks down. Jacob sees that he doesn't have anybody open, so he lowers his shoulder and he bursts into the end zone, all 6'4" of them.
We talked about Jacobs making his third start at quarterback. Bill Horvath is making his third start at quarterback for Northern Illinois. Took over on the 4th play of the season opener for an injured Josh Haldy, who was a 3-year starter. Haldy ran around before the game. He's out with a foot injury, but told the coaches that he might be able to play today. A running play on first down for A.J. Harris, and he dives past the 30 to the 32. Our Dos Equis starting lineup. Horvath does have some weapons, Trev.
And A.J. Harris, the most important. This is a pounding team, an old-school zone power rushing offense. And A.J. Harris, the running back, will have to carry the load because the quarterback is young.
Harris with 327 yards coming into today. That is good for 17th in the country, number 1 in the MAC. He gets it again on 2nd down and 4. And this time he is taken down at the 33 for minimal gain. Brad Williams with the tackle. A veteran group up front for Northern Illinois.
And right tackle Jake Verstrady, the best of a very, very good group. He'll have his hands full because Bowling Green knows they've got to stuff the offensive line, and so there'll be a lot of one-on-one battles with Verstrady trying to open the holes for A.J. Harris.
Mitchell Crossley, 9.5 sacks last year, 2.5 against Northern Illinois. Marks the other end. Fowler and Brad Williams are the defensive tackles. As you look at Verstrady from Atkinson, Illinois, a senior, 3rd down and 4. And it'll be a running play, and Harris is going to be short. So a running play on 3rd down and 4. Javon Burks, standout linebacker, came up with a tackle there.
And his importance is all the more in this game because of the style that Northern Illinois wants to run and because of the heavy dose of A.J. Harris that they intend to send right up the middle.
And Keon Newsom is the leader in the secondary, an interception, a couple of fumble recoveries already. Strong comparisons to Baltimore Ravens safety Ed Reed. Anthony Gallagher boots it away, and Charles Sharon is set to receive the punt. So 3 and out for Northern Illinois. The coaches told us they might come out throwing on first down, but 3 straight running plays, and they fail to pick up the first down. And a low kick, returnable for Sharon as he scoops at the 26, but gets banged to the turf at the 30. Only a 4-yard return. Rob Lee with the tackle for Northern Illinois. Bowling Green's offense back on the field when we come back, leading 7-zip.
One of the game's greatest players has engaged in a variety of acts which have stained the game.
Hustle, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Oh, Capital One.
Check your mail for the Capital One No Hassle Island giveaway. Look inside and see if you've instantly won your own private island or one of hundreds of island getaways.
What's in your wallet?
Tuesday.
I'm gonna fix this town.
We'll see about that. Walking Tall delivers.
Let's go.
Rock solid action. The Rock. Walking Tall on DVD Tuesday.
Riblets, riblets, riblets. Applebee's has riblets. All that you can eat now, riblets.
Hurry into Applebee's, because even though the riblets never end, this offer does.
Guys?
No way.
Yeah, I got us on the Verizon Wireless Family Share Plan, so we can talk to each other as much as we want.
And it's got in, so you can talk to your friends all you want to.
Really? Awesome.
Hey, group hug.
Okay. Sign up for the Family Share Plan, and now the whole family can make unlimited in-calls to each other and any other Verizon Wireless customer from our national in-coverage area. Plus, buy one LG 3200 for $29.99 and get one free.
Give me a call.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And Dos Equis. Sooner or later, you'll get it.
There's Altgeld Hall on the campus of Northern Illinois, the oldest building on this beautiful campus in DeKalb, Illinois. Great night here for college football, about 45 miles from the Windy City, and it was very windy before we got here. The wind has calmed down a bit. Bowling Green will see if Northern Illinois can calm them down. They marched down the field on their first drive, and here Jacobs goes to the air again and finds Pope, the running back, his second catch. And he's out past the 45 to the 47-yard line. 17-yard pickup.
And they're in their no-huddle offense. Bowling Green likes to line up at the line of scrimmage, not necessarily in a hurry-up, although sometimes they can. But what that gives them time to do is for the coach up in the booth to see how the defense is aligned. Then they can signal a play in to the quarterback, and it's actually the coach upstairs that does the pre-snap read.
Breaks to draw. The offensive coordinator likes to get it to Jacobs with about 17 seconds left as Jacobs runs to about midfield, so he picks up 3. And a handful of Huskies stack him up, led by Kirsten Strothman. Let's check in with the third member of our crew, Rob Stone.
Well, guys, Northern Illinois has a little no-huddle game plan of their own, but on the defensive side, for the last 2 years, they've employed a no-huddle defense, basically to combat a no-huddle offense like Bowling Green's. One of the main things it helps in is the battle against fatigue. Players don't have to run into the huddle, then bolt back into position and wait for those late panic calls. And those calls, Trevor, come from a combination of 3 coaches spread out on the sidelines.
On 2nd down and 7, it's an inside handoff, and a nice move by P.J. Pope as he picks up the first down to the 41-yard line. Ray Smith on the tackle, but a 9-yard pickup for P.J. Pope.
And Rob, those 3 coaches on the sideline sending in defensive signals. The defensive players know which coach is hot, but the offense doesn't know which coach is hot and which ones might be dummies. And so they're able to get signals in without the opponents knowing which one to look for and which one to chart.
And we asked Denny Dornbos if they've had any miscommunication. He says no. The players know exactly who is the real guy and who are the decoys. That's pretty good to not have any issues with that. As you look at Bowling Green just dominating in total offense so far. But a timeout called by Bowling Green. Omar Jacobs and the Falcons leading Northern Illinois 7-0.
The nation's #1 football program has all the picks for another upset Saturday.
More could come today, sweetheart.
ESPN College Game Day sets up at Raucous Camp Randall.
The best student section in the country is in Madison, Wisconsin,
where the Badgers host Big Ten rival Penn State.
The veteran Penn State team and the team to look out for in the Big Ten this year.
Plus, the rise of another star receiver in the Big Ten, Michigan's Braylon Edwards. College Game Day built by the Home Depot at 10:30 and Penn State, Wisconsin. Saturday on ESPN.
People like Hooters for college football. People love Hooters for pro football. People love nothing more than a Saturday with the coldest beer in town. Except the Sunday with world famous wings. People go to Hooters for Thursday nights. They go for Monday.
Hey, guys. We're the reason people come to Hooters.
Hooters is football. Get to Hooters for specials anytime football is on.
Terry, this isn't fair. Those girls win every time. Hey, haven't you noticed? They have better equipment than us.
The NHRA's micro-burning 330-mile-an-hour machines return to Route 66 Raceway in Joliet, the 4th annual CarQuest Auto Parts NHRA National.
It's like a 6.0 earthquake. It's absolutely incredible. It shakes your up to beat.
For tickets, call 815-727-RACE or log on to NHRA.com. Special offer. Order by September 29th and receive an $8 discount on adult reserve tickets.
These guys are my heroes. I get to walk up to them and shake their hand, say hi, and get their autograph.
The CarQuest Auto Parts NHRA National, September 30th through October 3rd, Route 66 Raceway in Joliet. The NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series, very real power. The Mid-American Conference beginning league play tonight. Tomorrow, the Big Ten begins conference play, and ESPN has an important matchup pitting Penn State against Wisconsin at Camp Randall. College football Saturday on ESPN at 5:45 Eastern Time. Wisconsin has really struggled at home in Big Ten games over the last 4 years. Penn State has struggled on the road, so something has to give in that game. Here it's a handoff to Pope, and he's off to the races again. Finally, ankle tackled by Adriel Hansbrough inside the 30-yard line. Another 10-plus yard gain, 15 yards for Pope on that play.
Well, this is the importance of linebackers. Number 38, Brian Atkinson, you see him stumble. He is the middle linebacker. He's the one that's got to make that tackle, and he gets picked off by a blocker. There's lots of space once that happens.
39 yards rushing for Pope. He had 93 on the season in 2 games coming into today. Another carry for Pope. This time he's ridden down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Tackled by Ken West. Left defensive end makes the play there. Well, last year, Bowling Green knocked off Northern Illinois, which at the time was ranked 14th in the country. And 2 years ago, it was Northern Illinois handing Bowling Green its first loss of the season when Bowling Green was ranked 16th.
And that was right here on this field, and the way Bowling Green did it was the same thing that they're doing now. Jump out to an early lead and force the running team of Northern Illinois to have to throw it up.
Play clock at 4 as Jacobs gets it off, and it's a screen to Pope. And Pope to the 20. And finally taken down at the 18-yard line by Alva Hansbrough. And Greg Studra, the offensive coordinator, that was actually B.J. Lane, who, I beg your pardon, had the pickup there of about 6 or 7. Alva Hansbrough is the younger brother of Adriel Hansbrough. They're actually identical twins, but Adriel is 60 seconds older.
And you know, we tried to get them to tell us whether or not they had switched identities for practice or class or even dates, and they won't say, which tells me that they did, Dave.
Both sophomores from Madison, Wisconsin. 3rd down and 2 at the 17-yard line. Jacobs, they tried to run option, but Northern Illinois is not fooled as Adam Schroeder, the redshirt freshman, makes a big play for NIU.
And that is a massive play. They do not want to fall behind. Now, it's just a simple zone speed option, zone blocking, but there's penetration. And Schroeder, the freshman, who's working against the great center, Scott Murkowski, did a great job of getting penetration and knocking that one off.
41-yard attempt for Sean Swisham, who hit a 47-yarder earlier this year. And it's blocked. And Northern Illinois will let it roll dead inside the 10. Sean Swisham has it blocked by Jason Hutton, the backup linebacker. A potential momentum swing for Northern Illinois.
Well, let's see how low this ball comes out. It's very good penetration, but let's see how it comes out of there. The snap is behind. The laces are behind, so the holder has to spin the ball, but that shouldn't make the difference. Now let's take a look at the height of this ball. It came out low. It hit Quince Holman right in the helmet. He didn't even have to reach his hand up to block it.
So it was Holman on the block, and Horvath takes over for Northern Illinois and goes to the air on 1st down. Eludes pressure, And does well to pick up about 4 or 5 yards to the 30-yard line. Ryan Newble on the tackle.
Well, that was a very big deal to block that field goal and stop that potential scoring drive, because Phil Horvath is in there for Josh Haldy, who would have been the starter this year. And Horvath, only a sophomore, he's a smart kid, and he's doing a pretty good job, but he's not fully grown yet, and he's not ready to really run this offense. They want to run the ball. They can only do that if they stay in a good point situation.
And here he throws, and it's caught very close to the marker by Sam Hurd. Well, you talked about Horvath not having a lot of experience. Trev, when he entered the Maryland game on the 4th play, that was his first game action since 2001 when he was in high school.
Yeah, and imagine that. You're playing in College Park, Maryland, against the ranked Maryland Terrapins. And you know what? He did a pretty good job in that game. They took Maryland all the way down to the very last second, where they had an opportunity, at least, to kick a game-tying field goal.
Maryland was ranked 17th. Northern Illinois beat Maryland last year, so you knew the Terrapins wanted revenge, but Northern Illinois lost by only 3. They beat Southern Illinois the next week and then lost at Iowa State by 7 the following week. Those are games last year, like Maryland and Alabama, that Northern Illinois won. But Joe Novak told us that the conference play is so much more important, because the 2 bowl guarantees that the Mid-American Conference has go to the teams that win their respective divisions in the MAC.
That's right. And last year they had a spectacular non-conference schedule. They beat Maryland, they beat Alabama, they beat Iowa State. They won 10 games, but because they didn't win the MAC West, they sat home during bowl season.
Those 10 wins were a school record, and they were ranked 26th in the country at the end of the year, but no bowl. After the first down of the game for Northern Illinois, a great throw and catch. Horvath finds his tight end, Brad Cieslak, inside Bowling Green territory before T.J. Carswell comes up with a play, but now they're saying that it was an incomplete pass.
But I like the call, Dave. I like the call because it tells Bowling Green's defense that Phil Horvath is going to be unleashed, and that, yeah, he bobbles the ball, so it is incomplete. That's a good call. But really, they want him to complete 60% of his passes, and he did a pretty good job during the last 3 games. The thing of it is, that was with short passes and play action. Now it's the MAC schedule, and Novak is going to unleash him.
2nd down and 10. That's A.J. Harris in the backfield, and he'll get it. And Harris plows forward to the 40-yard line for a gain of 5 or 6. Let's check in with Rob for more on Horvath.
Offensive coordinator John Bond told us there was a great deal of discussion, preparation, and a great word here, angst, in the game planning when it became clear that Horvath would have to start again at quarterback. So to keep Horvath in a rhythm, that's a key word there, rhythm, they want to keep Bowling Green off balance. They're going to throw more on 1st and 2nd downs. They're even going to run a little option, since the Falcons haven't dealt with it yet this year, and the staff admits they've been a bit heavy-handed with the predominance of run plays, and they said, like you guys just said, time to let Horvath loose tonight.
At 4 picks against Iowa State, but also 4 touchdowns. Here he completes to Hurd, who rumbles to midfield before Keon Newsom makes the tackle. A.J. Harris on the reception, a gain of 10 yards, and Harris is pretty good out of the backfield. 7th catch on the year for him.
And here's what Rod was talking about. Horvath now is going to be asked to open up and have more plays in this offense. Take more shots down the field, like we saw him try to his tight end, Brad Cieslak, a minute ago. Run some risky screens like that one was. High risk, high reward. In that case, it was high reward.
Horvath on the rollout finds Sam Hurd inbounds at the 45-yard line for a 5-yard pickup. Hurd had a huge game 2 years ago against Wisconsin, had 8 catches for over 150 yards.
And look at the recognition. He sees where the coverage is. He just turns around, finds the gap, and it's an easy pitch and catch. They want to complete 60%. That's one of the ways to do it.
Hurd, a junior from San Antonio, Texas. You see the numbers? 8 catches and a touchdown this year. Play fake and another rollout for Horvath. And he has his tight end, Nordine. And he is inside the 35-yard line. Gain of 10 or 12 of the play. Tackled by Newsom.
And this is an outstanding start for Phil Horvath. As he makes his fake and comes around to his right, he'll have pressure, and he's got to throw the ball over a linebacker to get it to his tight end. Nordine is just behind that guy, and the ball has to loft over his head. Horvath is doing a nice job mechanically of throwing the ball accurately.
Trev, John Bond, the offensive coordinator, told us that Bowling Green is very aggressive on defense, and an aggressive defense often has the tendency to over-pursue. And they're countering that by rolling him out and booting him. Here's a running play. A.J. Harris cuts it back inside and dives inside the 30. Terrell White with a tackle, and another gain of 5 yards for A.J. Harris.
Well, a great running team has to have a great offensive line. That time, center Brian Van Acker pulled and ran all the way around the left side and threw a terrific block to spring that play.
This is a really good offensive line. They go junior, senior on the right side, senior at left guard and Ben Lewick, and a sophomore in Doug Free, but he was a third-team freshman All-American last year. 9th play of the drive for Northern Illinois. Horvath going to keep. And he gets pinballed inside the 25 to about the 24. Going to be about a yard shy. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, you mentioned the angst that the coaches had in calling plays. The problem with running an option with Horvath is that it exposes him to big hits. And if he gets hit and if he gets hurt, they've got a redshirt freshman named Zach Ulrich, who will be the next one to come in, a guy who's never played a snap in Division I. And so you talk about angst watching your quarterback run an option like that.
And Ulrich's actually, Trev, the 4th quarterback, because Chris Carr was a true freshman, had some off-the-field issues. Josh Haldy, normally the starter, is hurt. Horvath was the number 3 quarterback last year. Now he's the starter, and he picks up a 1st down for the Huskies to the 21-yard line.
This is another change in the game plan that offensive coordinator John Bond told us about, that they're going to try to attack the perimeter of Bowling Green's defense so they couldn't stack it inside against A.J. Harris. And so they haven't shown this option this year. This is new for Bowling Green.
Here's Josh Haldy, who had an 18-6 record as a starter coming into this year. He'll likely be back maybe even as early as next week. We'll see how Horvath plays today and whether that has anything to do with when Haldy comes back. As on the carry, Harris doesn't get much, gets maybe 2 inside the 20. Terrell White has been active so far in the game, sophomore out of Ohio, with another tackle for Bowling Green, his 3rd. That's the final play of the 1st quarter. It started well for Bowling Green, finished well for Northern Illinois, as the Huskies are in the red zone, trailing after 1, 7-0.
Northern Illinois 0.
ESPN the magazine on newsstands now.
Take the next right.
Evil navigators love emerald nuts.
Glenn's the man going to work. Got his tie, got ambition. He knows one day he just could become supervisor.
Starbucks double shot espresso drink. Bring on the day.
We are in the business of winning.
In 2002, Sports Illustrated chose a story about a group of high school kids.
This is our time. Yeah.
Their coach.
Be calm in there. Keep you cool.
And their small town.
Gonna win state?
Yeah. As one of the greatest sports stories ever told.
Stop team. Let's go right now. Let's do it. Run. Yeah. We gotta step it up. I don't want this to never end. Never.
Rated PG-13 at theaters October 8th.
This year, millions of leaves will fall, but you can handle it. And the Home Depot can show you how. With the most powerful names in lawn care, John Deere, Echo, and Black & Decker, all at the guaranteed low price every day. And only the Home Depot gives you a $20 gift card with the purchase of a Black & Decker leaf hog and leaf collection system. It switches from blower to vac in a few simple steps. If you want to really clean up this fall, you can. The Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
How do
do you spend quality time with the family without spending a fortune? Why, with Wendy's 99-cent Super Value menu. From our hot and juicy Junior Bacon cheeseburgers to freshly prepared side salads to cool, creamy Frosties, there's something for everyone. Wendy's, it's better here.
Wow, new cherry Pepto. I love cherries.
Now there's a Pepto flavor everyone will love, and that's reason to dance. Look for it today.
My machine's on 7. Sandy?
My machine's on 4. Back to you, Tim.
And now the weather.
Exercising newscasters love emerald nuts.
In the MAC opener, Bowling Green leads Northern Illinois 7-0 as we get ready to start the second quarter. Later tonight, the Broncos try to maintain the team's perfect record as they take on BYU at Broncos Stadium in Boise. College football on ESPN Friday night at 10 Eastern. So that follows us over on ESPN.
And Boise again leading the nation in total offense. There will be a lot of points scored in that game.
They've got the nation's longest win streak at 14 as Sam Hurd pulls in the pass and stretches out past the 10 for the first down. Ted Pipko on the tackle, and Horvath delivered that one with 3 white jerseys hanging on Sam Hurd.
And he delivered it on time, though. And that's the key. He delivered it accurately, but he delivered it on time. Had he been late, one of those 3 white jerseys would have been in position to pick it off. They want to get the ball out of his hands, into the hands of the receivers in time, and that's one of the ways that they protect him as a young quarterback.
We've got a timeout called. Horvath with great numbers so far. Bowling Green calls it second timeout. Northern Illinois down 7, but a first down and goal when we come back.
So what's this about our Guinness again?
I've discovered that Guinness Draft has only 125 calories.
Only 125 calories? Brilliant! What else have you been up to?
I've invented this little book. It's black. You put women's phone numbers in it.
A little black book? Brilliant!
Come here often. You can also use it as a coaster.
A coaster? Brilliant!
Brilliant!
Guinness Draft has only 125 calories. Enjoy it responsibly.
Brilliant!
Can inspiration make the town and country even more amazing? Yes. Can it be luxurious and still rate high in safety? With front and rear crumple zones and a 5-star side impact crash test rating? Yes. Can it find a place for everything? As the only minivan with stone row seating and storage? Of course. The amazing new Chrysler Town and Country. Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
Now through September 30th, qualified returning Daimler Chrysler owners can get $3,500 in combined cash allowances on Town and Country.
At last, you can watch the greatest Star Wars battles on DVD. But what if you could actually live them? Now, you can play all the Star Wars battles any way you want. Introducing Star Wars Battlefront, the video game, now available. Rated T for teen.
Few relationships in life are more important than the one between you and your Michelin tires. Rugged, long-lasting Michelin truck tires. Michelin, because so much is riding on your truck tires. Want this great new bobblehead? To order, go online at michelinman.com.
2 years ago, Northern Illinois beat Bowling Green, but last year, the Falcons on their home field got revenge as they built a 27-3 lead. And frustrated running back Michael Turner, limiting him to just 87 yards. Bowling Green won that game 34-18 in a matchup of ranked MAC teams. First time that had happened since 1973. And here we are again in the MAC opener. Both teams in the West Division, which has major bowl implications, as Nordine pulls in and then gets leveled out of play at the 3-yard line by Mitchell Crossley. Let's go to the studio and check in with Reese Davis.
All right, guys, our high school showcase game of the week. Showcase is one of the top teams in the country, Pittsburgh Central Catholic. They're in the dark uniforms. That's Penn Hill's Ed Collington on the first play from scrimmage for the Indians. This is a heated rivalry, and Penn Hills has gone on top with an early touchdown, 7-0.
All right, Reese, and speaking of heated rivalries, Bowling Green and Northern Illinois playing in the MAC opener. Bowling Green already one loss. Northern Illinois has lost twice, but here it's A.J. Harris pulling his team within one as he scores from a yard out. Dendick on for the extra point after Harris gets his second rushing touchdown of the season. Dendick, a true freshman from nearby Naperville, and he ties the game at 7.
Harris just lowers his shoulder here and makes a hole. The blocking was good. There was an extra man. He lowers his shoulder, and the extra man doesn't matter. This is just power one-on-one.
That was T.J. Carswell who tried to get in the way for Bowling Green.
Yeah, tried to get in the way. Yeah, he did get in the way, actually. Just didn't stay in the way very long.
No. Well, Harris got good leverage there. He's 220 pounds, which obviously is not small, but it does not compare to Michael Turner, who was a 5th-round draft pick of the San Diego Chargers, who had over 1,600 yards last year, was a 240-pound back. Joe Novak was worried about how Harris would replace Turner. He's been pretty good so far. Fastest guy on the team, #1 rusher in the MAC, and his 2-yard touchdown run after a lengthy drive that lasted just under 5 minutes ties the game at 7.
Yeah, being the fastest guy on the team is one thing, but how he gets there, Dave, is the most important thing. It takes him 3 steps to go from 0 to full speed, and so defenders end up taking a wrong angle because his burst is so fast.
DJ Lane, along with Cole Magner, to receive this kick from Chris Dendick. And it's a short kick. And they let it bounce at the 10. Magner scoops and does well to tiptoe back towards the 20-yard line. Well, A.J. Harris has looked very good tonight, but the guy that he is replacing was a special back, Michael the Burner Turner.
And Turner, deceptive speed. He runs a 4.33 40, which is amazing for a guy with legs and hips that thick. And so when he gets there at full speed, he brings a ton of bricks with him. Now he's playing for the San Diego Chargers, and he'll have a long career in the NFL if he stays healthy.
First down, Bowling Green from the 20. Inside handoff and more running room for Pope. Picks up 6 or 7. Ken West on the tackle. And all this talk about Harris, let's not forget Pope and what he's doing here tonight.
Well, B.J. Pope is one of 43 backs nominated in the preseason for the watch list for the Doak Walker Award. So he's considered one of the best in the nation, and running behind such a veteran offensive line and a spread offense, he has the opportunity to challenge for that award.
Trev already 56 yards on 8 carries for Pope. 2nd and 3. Pope again, same side, and not the same result, but good enough to pick up the first down at the 31-yard line. Travis Moore on the stop.
Well, Bowling Green giving Northern Illinois a bit of their own medicine now. Northern Illinois, the power team. It was critical for them to come back and tie this game. Last year, or 2 years ago on this field when Bowling Green beat Northern Illinois, it was Bowling Green that jumped to an early lead. Because of that, Northern Illinois had to pass, and Bowling Green sacked them 6 times. So right now, it's what Northern Illinois wants.
Well, these two teams have not been the BCS busters they've been in the past, at least so far, as Pope takes it up near the 36. But everybody here knows tonight that this game is the most important game of the schedule, and was even 2 weeks ago when Bowling Green was playing #2 Oklahoma. And even though the MAC has 2 bowl invitations, they are trying desperately to pick up more. Conference USA has 5, Mountain West has 3, the WAC has 3, but the Mid-American Conference, which seemingly has more upsets than any other league, only has 2. From the shotgun on 2nd and 5. Jacobs. His pass nearly picked off, but instead it's caught by Charles Sharon. Nicely done. Ray Smith tried to step in front and pick it off. Bring up third down.
And one of the reasons that they only have 2 conference tie-ins is that in the last several years, when the MAC was really getting deep enough that 3 and 4 teams were good enough to qualify for a bowl, there haven't been bowl bids available for them. They've been locked up by other conferences.
Well, the MAC is 8-2 in its last 10 bowl games, and 6-1 against Conference USA teams in bowl games, as Bowling Green spoils a great opportunity. Instead of third down and short, after the penalty, it'd be third down and 6.
Start on the offense, number 67, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, they tried to draw Northern Illinois offsides, and they ended up being too smart by half fooled themselves. But see, when Bowling Green was getting deep in the last several years, the problem was that the other conferences already were. Conference USA was good enough in depth to attract a 4th and 5th bowl tie-in. The WAC was good enough in depth to attract a 3rd. Now that the MAC is good enough, all those at-large bids are now locked up.
Got the GMAC and the Motor City. Those are the only guarantees for the Mid-American Conference. As Jacob slings it, and it's caught but short of the first down marker. Great stick by Jason Hawkins on Pope. Hawkins, a former running back, drills a current running back, P.J. Pope, and forces Bowling Green to punt the football.
And you can see the momentum turning now. Bowling Green, with that first drive, looked like they might run away with it, but with the blocked field goal and then the scoring drive by Northern Illinois, now it's a Huskies-style game. It's a grinded-out style game.
Nate Fry to punt it to the special teams player of the week in the MAC, Dan Sheldon, who had just under 200 all-purpose yards last week against Iowa State. Sheldon lets it bounce, and it takes a favorable hop for Northern Illinois right around the 27-yard line. 37-yard punt. We are tied at 7, just over 11 minutes to play on College Football Friday from DeKalb, Illinois. Northern Illinois and Bowling Green in a Mid-American Conference matchup.
Get the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package featuring more than 150 extra games this season. To order, call your local cable company, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
Can inspiration be comfortable? Can you navigate the world with ease? Yes. Does the most passenger room in its class make a difference? Yes. Can a Boston Acoustics sound system create harmony? In a word, absolutely. The totally new Chrysler 300. Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
Now through September 30th, get $1,000 bonus cash on the totally new Chrysler 300.
People like Hooters for college football. People love Hooters for pro football. People love nothing more than a Saturday with the coldest beer in town. Except a Sunday with world-famous wings. People go to Hooters for Thursday nights. They go for Monday.
Hey, guys. We're the reason people come to Hooters.
Hooters is football. Get to Hooters for specials anytime football is on.
Terry, this isn't fair. Those girls win every time. Hey, haven't you noticed? They have better equipment than us.
Where does reality end and pure vision begin? It all starts with a Pioneer plasma display. The purest color, the purest experience. Pure vision. Only from Pioneer.
I just ate some buffalo wings.
But your breath produces no offending output.
I neutralized the output with new Eclipse mints.
So if one were to eat offensive food and follow with an Eclipse mint, then one's breath would become...
attractive.
Really?
New Eclipse mints. They're breath-defying.
There's an easier way to get a 6-month supply of clean, great-tasting water. Pure water filters. Bottled water quality, right from your faucet. Pure water filters. Your water should be pure.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Residence Inn by Marriott. All suites with all the comforts. And Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
sun setting on the MAC opener for Bowling Green in Northern Illinois. The preseason is over for these two teams. All that matters now, conference play. Both teams in the Mid-American Conference West. Got teams in the East like Miami of Ohio and Marshall. So the loser of this game is in big trouble. A winner certainly helps its cause, but it ain't over yet. The loser is likely done in terms of bowl possibilities. We're at Husky Stadium with Trevor Manich and Rob Stone. I'm Dave Pash. 7-7, just over 11 minutes to play. And Phil Horvath, who's completed 5 straight passes, runs and has a gap to the 45 and then dances out of play.
Horvath has been doing it all day, and he has looked a lot like Josh Haldy today. They've been trying to protect him by not asking him to drop back on 5-step drops very often. They've been trying to protect him by having heavy run calls, lots of rushing. But in this game, he has been 87% pass completion so far. And although his forte is not creating plays out of nothing, on that last play, when the protection broke down, he created a long first down.
First down at the Northern Illinois 47. A.J. Harris, who has the touchdown for NIU, on the run again. Close to 10 yards on that carry. Tackled by Terrell Mayberry. Harris has been impressive, even though he may not be Michael Turner. He's a big guy who can run.
Well, Northern Illinois wants 60% pass completion. That helps to move the chains, but also 4 yards or more on 60% of their first downs. Right now, they're only 50% on 4 yards or more on first down, but Horvath is 87% on completions, and so that's critical. Keeps them out of third and long situations.
Yeah, they'll take this all night. 2nd and 1. Harris again sweeping towards this side of the field and does beautifully, getting the first down. He had a chance to go down to the backfield as Terrell White came flying in, but he picked up 3 yards for the first.
And Dave, we talked about the center. Van Acker, number 65. Look at him pull from his center position, get depth, and then turn up field and throw a block. And we don't get to see the block that he throws. It's out of the picture, but it's a terrific block because not only is he out of the picture, but the man he took out of the play is still out of the picture.
Van Acker, a junior from Crystal Lake, Illinois. First down at the Bowling Green 40. 3rd straight carry for Harris. This time he's ridden down from behind at the 37 by Brad Williams. To the studio we go in Reese.
And Dave, the number 8 team in the nation, according to USA Today, Pittsburgh Central Catholic, answered the early Penn Hills touchdown. Shane Murray to Tony Colazzi for 6. And it appears that their place kicker's ready for big-time college football because he missed the extra point. 7-6 Penn Hills.
I guess we have an anomaly here because both teams made their extra points, Reese. 7-7 our score. Over 9 minutes to play in the second quarter as Horvath goes to the air and overthrows one man but almost completes it to Dan Sheldon. Well, not only in high school have we had PAT issues, but certainly in college, Trev. It seems like every week somebody misses a point after in a big game.
It does, and the big game, Dave, is the big issue because the percentages of missed PATs this year is the same. It's 5% missed, 95% made, but they seem to come in big games or critical moments at the end or in overtime, and so they're being showcased.
There's Sean Swisham, the leading scorer in the MAC, field goal kicker for Bowling Green. On 3rd and 7, Horvath's pass complete to Hurd inside the 30-yard line. Sam Hurd perhaps becoming Horvath's favorite receiver, a 10-yard pickup.
Great confidence by Horvath. He steps up, throws it on time, but look at the dart he throws and threads between 2 defenders. That's great confidence from a young man who threw 4 interceptions last week.
Six touchdowns, 6 picks on the year, but seemingly getting more comfortable with each snap. First down to the 27. Harris, good cutback. He gets inside the 25 to the 24. Saturday, ABC brings you regional college football action as Iowa takes on Michigan. Plus the Bowden Bowl as Tommy Bowden and Clemson take on Father Bobby in Florida State with ABC's Terry Bowden joining the guys at the booth. That's Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. Check local listings for the game in your area. Now, the Bowden Bowl was big for Clemson last year, but they have not won in Tallahassee since Florida State entered the ACC back in 1992.
Well, Clemson got exposed by Texas A&M, gave up over 300 yards rushing. Their lines are struggling.
And Florida State struggling throwing the football, but Phil Horvath is not. He is on fire right now for NIU. Completes to Chatone Powers. Terrell Mayberry on the tackle, but another first down for the Huskies.
The thing that impresses me most about what Horvath is doing right now is the timing. We have not yet seen him double hitch, double clutch, double pump, wait for too long. We've seen him step back, make the fake, roll out, and throw on time. And that's very impressive for a young quarterback, and that's why he's 8 for 10.
And over 70 yards passing. We near the midway point in the second quarter as Horvath has tons of time, and his pass hits the goalpost. Dan Sheldon a little bit upset, thought he had a step on his man, but it's incomplete.
Well, part of the way coaches relieve their angst in what plays to call for a young quarterback is balance. When the defense doesn't know whether you're coming with run or pass, it takes pressure off of that quarterback, and this is almost perfect balance in this game.
Well, the offensive coordinator, John Bond, even more impressively, is the third offensive coordinator in 3 years here in Northern Illinois, but you wouldn't know it by the way Horvath is running the offense today. As that ball is caught at the 13-yard line, and Bond, the offensive coordinator, was a quarterback himself in college at Arkansas when he played for Lou Holtz there.
Yeah, and you know, he had to learn as much as the players when he came in last year, because he kept the running game exactly the same as it was. Same terminology, same plays. You don't want to change a running game that was so highly successful as the one that they had last year. He did make some tweaks to the passing game, and we've seen some of them tonight. Shorter throws, more three-step drops, move the pocket.
3rd down and 10, and Horvath with time. And this pass should have been intercepted. Instead, it's incomplete, and a late flag flies in. The roughing the passer against Bowling Green, and Greg Brandon not going to be pleased with that. Terrell White almost intercepted the pass and gets hurt on the play.
The passer, number 90 on the defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Mitchell Crossley, the guilty man.
He's going to loop inside and come late. Yeah. There was no need to throw him to the ground. That was completely gratuitous. The ball was long gone.
Greg Brandon saying, you got to hold up, son.
Well, Crossley's trying to say, hey, I was just continuing the play. And yes, you were, but about a minute and a half late.
So first down and goal from the 7 as Harris takes it inside the 5 all the way to the 2. Carswell brings him down. Gain of 5 for Harris. We've had an interesting game so far. Check out the official. Whoops. Whoop. There it is.
There you go. It was 0-2. And on the 3rd pitch, he got the hit.
Earlier, DeBacco, and then that hit, which was illegal. It was a penalty flag for shoulder to helmet contact.
But it's a rivalry game. That's why you have it.
Absolutely. Harris on 2nd down and goal. Not much. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and goal. Crossley, who is out for a play, comes back in and makes a stop there on defense. And
look at the chin strap up on his lips, and he's limping off the field. Crossley drilled him on that one.
So that'll bring on the diminutive Garrett Wolfe. Backup running back is a sophomore, as the junior Harris goes to the bench. 3rd down and goal. Wolfe has not carried it yet, and he won't here as Horvath keeps it and is very close to the goal line. No signal yet. He's going to be short. It'll be 4th down. Javon Burks, the outstanding middle linebacker, made the tackle for Bowling Green.
But Javon Burks, number 3, scrapes around, gets penetration, and he's able to get the ball's short. Burks is able to make the tackle and get around Horvath's legs far enough in the backfield that when he falls forward, that 6 foot 2 inches of him is not enough to stretch into the end zone.
Joe Novak says go for it. 15th play of the drive. 4th down and goal. Horvath. And Wolfe is stuffed. He lost 2 yards on the play as Daniel Sales makes the hit. So Greg Brandon's team holds, and we are tied at 7. Garrett Wolfe couldn't do anything here. Great penetration by the Bowling Green front 4.
How much inspiration can you fit in a small car? Can you make it fun for 2 or 4? Yes. Will 220 horses inspire it to gallop? Absolutely. Can it have more than enough room for her, him, them? Yes. Chrysler PT Cruiser. Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
Now through September 30th, get $1,500 bonus cash for a combined cash allowance of $2,000 on Chrysler PT Cruiser convertible.
You'd expect that U.S. Olympic athletes need pain relief, specifically designed to work all day on their muscle pain. What you might not expect is that this relief comes from Tylenol. Tylenol 8 Hours, the official supplier of pain relief products to the 2004 U.S. Olympic team.
Are there really people who spend every minute thinking about TV? People who obsess over how to make the internet more fun? Is there a place where people are dedicated to finding new ways to entertain you and inspire you? You'd better believe it. We're Comcast, a cable company dedicated to changing the way you think about your cable company.
NASCAR on TNT. New rules, new drama this season. Every race, every lap counts. You must make the field if you want to race for the Cup. Watch Nextel Cup racing from Dover. See it live on TNT.
Stop by any participating Menards location for the chance to win a trip or 2 to the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series race in Miami, Florida. Trip includes airfare, hotel, suite tickets, pit tour, and more.
A full moon in DeKalb, about 45 minutes from Chicago. Game is tied at 7. Bowling Green in Northern Illinois. Phil Horvath had a great drive for NIU, but the Huskies were stopped on 4th down and goal from the 1. Needless to say, a precarious situation here for Bowling Green based on the field position, but keep in mind that Bowling Green has only allowed 1 sack all year.
That's not how they think. They think, hey, 97 yards of offense we can grab here.
That's right. Inside handoff to Pope. He pushes his lineman forward, and a good play by Javen Lee to bring down Pope at the 5 for a 2-yard gain.
Bowling Green sells the farm, and they bring everybody expecting a run. If this is a rollout, the tight end will be able to come through, because I want you to watch that guy right there. The corner comes in, and if that's a rollout, he is not in position to stop the tight end, Jake Nordine, from scoring a touchdown on a pass. But Bowling Green bets that they're not going to throw a pass, that it will be a run.
Now, Trev, it's easy to second guess up here, but the rollouts were working so well earlier in the game.
They were.
And Pope off the left side again and gets about 4. Atkinson on the stop. So to bring up 3rd down. Atkinson with 5 tackles. The Beast out of Chicago.
He got his nickname, the Beast. As a high school running back, he ran for 350 yards in 1 game in high school. That gave him the nickname of the Beast. And when you look at him right there, he looks like a beast.
Release the Beast, say the fans here at Husky Stadium. Great fans, great atmosphere here in DeKalb for a big game for both teams. 3rd down and 3. And a quick toss to Magner, who's got some room. Stacked up at the 20-yard line. 2nd catch for Magner. 10-yard gain on the play. 1st down. Well, the Mid-American Conference has been a good league for several years. Bowling Green last year with wins at Purdue and narrow loss at Ohio State. Northern Illinois beat Maryland, Alabama, Iowa State. Yet only one of these two teams went to a bowl. In fact, it was the second straight year a team won 10 games in the MAC and did not get a bowl bid. First down for the 20. And it's Magner again, this time the far side of the field. And another gain of close to 10 for Cole Magner. He had a big game against Northern Illinois last year with 100 yards receiving.
Cole Magner, the Alaskan assassin. He's got that long blonde hair. He's a free spirit. He's a former quarterback. So he sees this game as a quarterback, and he knows where his quarterback, Omar Jacobs, wants him to be in order to be able to catch a lot of balls. And you know what? It's worked brilliantly.
And, Trev, you got a lot of guys like Magner in this league. Players that don't get recruited by schools in the Big 10 or in the Big 12. Yet come to places like Bowling Green and set records. Magner had 99 catches a year ago, which was a Bowling Green record. Great bounce to the outside by Pope. And he gets past the 40-yard line. Rob Stone standing by with the commissioner from the Mid-American Conference. Rob?
Well, Commissioner, what are you doing to ensure that there's not another bowl blow-off like Northern Illinois had to go through last year?
Oh, we worked so hard at trying to find opportunities for our teams, and it seems that it takes one of those years to create those opportunities. So you work the phones, and you hope the results play out. And I think people recognize the level of football that's being played in this conference.
How has the fluctuation in the Big East and the Conference USA affected the MAC?
Right now, our core is intact. I think everyone's in the process of redefining themselves come next year, but our presidents are showing great leadership. We'll see what it means in terms of future membership, but our core is intact, and we feel great about where we're at.
Is your goal to find a third or fourth or fifth bowl tie-in, and how soon?
I think it can't come too soon. Certainly this league deserves a third bowl tie-in. 3 times the past 6 years, we've had a 10-win team sit home. So I'm confident we'll get one, and it's something we work on an awful lot.
Good luck, Commissioner. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you, fellas.
And geographically, a new bowl tie-in is most likely to come from a new bowl being created in Indianapolis or St. Louis. Those two locations make sense for the MAC.
Second down and 6. And Jacobs has a man across the middle. Inside the 40-yard line is Steve Sanders. We talked so much about Horvath and him slinging it. How about Omar Jacobs, the Bowling Green quarterback?
And great decisions. He's only a sophomore, but he's light years ahead of where Josh Harris was when he was a sophomore with the same 6 games of experience.
Over 120 yards and only 3 incompletions for Jacobs. Now 4 incompletions. That was partially deflected at the line. So it brings up second down and 10.
Well, when Josh Harris first started as a sophomore, they only had about 3 pass plays in for him because that was Harris's sophomore year. Harris's freshman year, he was a running back. So he came into quarterback relatively cold, whereas Jacobs had the advantage as a freshman to sit behind Harris and as a redshirt freshman. 2 years of watching a man who knows how to run this offense, and he had a running start that Harris didn't have.
On second and 10, Jacobs under pressure and sack. Only the second sack allowed this year. Travis Moore, who was a first-team All-MAC 2 years ago, makes the play.
Well, Travis Moore is at the top of your screen. He just comes around the corner, blind side, and Jacobs senses him, but he's not able to get away. Now, Jacobs can't see him right now, but he senses that somebody's there, but he's not able to make the escape.
Moore played in only 5 games last year because of injuries, but the first-team All-MAC from 2002 is playing well in 04. On 3rd and 17, Jacobs just gets rid of it. That's grounding. He was not outside the tackle box, and there is a penalty flag down. So it'll be a penalty and a loss of down, and Bowling Green will punt it away. Kirsten Strothman with the play.
That's right, Dave. The rule for intentional grounding is that if you are within the tackle box or 5 yards on each side of the ball, if you throw it away, it's got to be in the vicinity of a receiver. And so there's only 3 guys that are going to rush. There are 5 to block them, and yet they still get pressure. And so when the pressure comes, he stays within that tackle box, but when he throws it, there is nobody in this vicinity where that ball bounces. That's why the rule is invoked.
And Denny Dornbos, the defensive coordinator, gets a high five. His D is playing well after Bowling Green had a great defensive stand. We thought we'd have a lot of points scored in this game, but only a total of 14 so far. Fry to boot it away to Sheldon. Fry trying to kick it away from Sheldon, and he does nicely inside the 10-yard line. Look at that thing roll all the way to the 1-yard line.
Well, that's a rugby-style kick. They practiced this because Sheldon 2 years ago was an All-American punt returner. He led the NCAA with almost 23 yards per return. That's keep away.
54-yard punt. We're tied at 7.
Still have time?
Yeah. Don't miss a moment of action with the Game Bucket deal from KFC. 6 pieces of extra crispy chicken and 6 honey barbecue wings. Plus a free half-gallon Pepsi Mega Jug, all for just $9.99.
Sir, you forgot your Mega Jug.
Only in Capital USA.
I hadn't seen him in a while. I wasn't sure if he'd recognize me. So I jogged his memory. Again. And again.
At the end of the career, I think right there, girls start punking you. Maybe you could get a number or something. Yeah, at least get a date on it or something.
I still don't know if he knows my name. But I'm pretty sure I left an impression.
It's nice to plan a trip just the way you like it. I enjoy making new friends. That's me on the left. I kept telling him, it's just a knock-knock joke, you big silly. Oh, my word, moving on swiftly. I kept looking. When she promised to write, I should have known.
Save an average of $120 when you book your flight and hotel together. Book with Travelocity and you'll never roam alone.
7-7 game in DeKalb. A.J. Harris, we saw him leave that last series. It was a left ankle injury. He came off the bench. They stripped off the tape job over the shoes, gave him a new tape job, put it back on. Doesn't have his helmet in his hand. You see him running right now, literally right by us. Still kind of bothered by it. It's got a little giddy up in that hobble. When the helmet's not in the hands, you're not going out there, right, guys?
Yeah, that's exactly right. As Mitchell Crossley, defensive end, hit him on that attempt at the goal line to score a touchdown. It drove his chin strap up onto his lips. He hit him so hard, and then everybody else rolled up on the back of his ankle, and so I'm glad to see him doing what he's doing now on his feet.
He's the leading rusher in the Mid-American Conference coming in, so Garrett Wolfe, the backup, who's a sophomore, is into the game. And a quarterback sneak as Horvath picks up a couple. Northern Illinois just trying to get out of trouble here and end the half, tied at 7. Trevor, Northern Illinois, without its starting quarterback in Josh Haldy, and now without its starting running back, at least for the time being, and A.J. Harris. What does that do to your psyche?
It would put a big dent in your psyche, Dave, except that Horvath is performing in a way that is so precise. We never would have guessed this, and the coaches yesterday in the meetings had their angst, and they didn't expect this either.
But Horvath has been great. His team has Bowling Green even at 7 under a minute to go.
In football and in life, experience is the best teacher. Luckily, the best experience I'm getting in college is the NIU experience. I'm studying with dedicated professors in a program that's nationally ranked, and I'm applying what I learned to real-world business issues. So when I leave NIU with my degree in accountancy, I'll be a top recruit for companies that value real-world know-how. Get a step ahead. Get the NIU experience.
The drive is on for the 2004 MAC Football Championship game. Thursday, December 2nd at Detroit's Ford Field, home of the Detroit Lions and Super Bowl 40. Get ready for some MAC Motor City mayhem as the beasts of the East meet the best in the West at a neutral site for the first time to decide the league title. Get your tickets now at the Ford Field box office or through Ticketmaster. The 2004 MAC Football Championship. It's a whole new ball game.
Well, Joe Novak's team lost 2 games all of last year. Northern Illinois comes into this game 1-2. So This is a huge game for Northern Illinois. It's the Mid-American Conference opener for both teams. And Horvath under center going to just take a knee as the Huskies look to end the half here with the game tied at 7.
Well, that's the smart thing to do. This is playing into Joe Novak's hands and in his plan. He did not want this to be a shootout. A shootout against Bowling Green is something very difficult to win. He is an old-school guy along the lines of Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler, guys that he has history with as a player and as a coach. And if he keeps it low-scoring, run the ball, put it on your offensive line, he's happy. And going in 7-7 at the half puts him in position to play his game in the second half.
And Novak played for Bo Schembechler. Let me say that again. Bo Schembechler at Miami of Ohio. Was never a head coach until 1996, and he's in his 9th year and is doing a great job at Northern Illinois. The Olive Garden halftime report is coming up next. Bowling Green and the NIU Huskies are tied at 7. Let's check in with Rob Stone. He's standing by with Greg Brandon.
Well, Coach, what happened to that early momentum you guys had?
Well, I think we got it too easy, and then we just kind of let up and relaxed a little bit. But we're okay. We're just kind of stumbling around a little bit offensively. The defense, a great goal line stand. That'll give us some momentum going into the second half.
How do you slow down their quarterback? He's having an excellent half.
Well, we need to, they move him around well, do a nice job with the bootleg. We just have to put some pressure on the edge on him and cover their receivers. Got to do a better job of that.
Coach, thanks for your time.
All right, guys, so Northern Illinois and Bowling Green are tied at 7. We thought it would be a shootout, but it's a game of defense so far. To the studio we go now, and Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, glad to have you with us on the Olive Garden halftime report. Northern Illinois in much better shape than they were a year ago in this game, down 24-3 at the break, but that was in Deutsch Perry Stadium. You know, just walk in there and get a victory. Trev Alberts, Mark May with us. Guys, what did you see in the first half?
Northern Illinois' defense. I mean, you got to give them credit. I came out before the game and said they needed to step up, stop somebody. This is a defense that had been allowing 31 points a game. To hold Bowling Green to 7 points in the first half, I think is outstanding.
I've been impressed with Northern Illinois' offense, and their offensive coordinator, John Bond's, did an outstanding job of putting Phil Horvath in positions to make plays. Not only keeping them in the pocket, but rolling them out to make plays to keep them in this football game. Very balanced offense. I've been impressed with them. All
right, when we push forward on the Olive Garden halftime report, we'll talk about once again the impact of the hurricane on the college football schedule. Plus, here is Chad Pennington. He's going to start on Sunday for the Jets. And he's not the only one. Byron Leftwich, he's going to start for the Jaguars. And there's a third former MAC quarterback who will be taking snaps. Is this the reason that the MAC is, well, not quite so potent in attack this year?
ESPN puts the spotlight on the highlight with ESPN 25 The Book. Available now.
Getting my paws on those delicious s'mores used to be a whole to-do. But Hershey's took their pure milk chocolate and wrapped it around graham cracker bits and chewy marshmallow.
There you go.
So it's easy to get all the s'mores I want.
Hershey's S'mores, a simpler way to enjoy a classic.
Get to know the players you think you know with Sports Illustrated's NFL coverage and the new 6-page SI Players section.
The nation's #1 football program has all the picks for another upset Saturday.
More could come today, sweetheart.
ESPN College Game Day sets up at Raucous Camp Randall.
The best student section in the country is in Madison, Wisconsin.
Where the Badgers host Big Ten rival Penn State.
The veteran Penn State team and the team to look out for in the Big Ten this year.
Plus, the rise of another star receiver in the Big Ten, Michigan's Braylon Edwards. College Game Day, built by the Home Depot at 10:30. And Penn State, Wisconsin, Saturday on ESPN.
Where do die-hard MAC fans go for the latest in MAC news and information? Mac-Sports.com, the official website of the Mid-American Conference. That's Mac-Sports.com for news, notes, stats, standings, and contests. Read headlines from across the country in the MAC beat. Want to know what's on the air? Mac-Sports.com is your source for the latest MAC TV and radio schedules and links. You can even watch highlights and listen to coaches talk in the MAC multimedia section. Bookmark it today. Mac-Sports.com.
Okay, eyes up here. Today, a lesson in sharing. When a house has a lot of computers but only one internet connection, this happens. But when Comcast installs home networking,
This is my computer!
everybody can log on at once. So there's no need to fight.
What are you looking at?
Nothing, I was looking at your awesome shirt.
Comcast, high-speed internet.
in a class by itself.
By now, you've probably seen them, the bold new Cadillac lineup. Hi, I'm Maury Edelson, and I'd like to introduce our Cadillac Total Guarantee. We will beat any deal on a new Cadillac, or we'll give you $1,000 in cash on the spot. Further, we guarantee your complete service satisfaction, and we guarantee to have the vehicle you want, or we'll get it. Get the Total Guarantee at Maury Edelson Cadillac in Hodgkins or at CadillacsForLess.com.
Welcome to the Olive Garden Halftime Report.
30 minutes gone in DeKalb. Nothing settled so far. Bowling Green and Northern Illinois locked up at 7 at the break. It's becoming something that we are getting all too used to that really we wish would go away. Hurricanes, bad weather impacting the college football schedule, and it's going to happen again tomorrow. A handful of games rearranged and or postponed as a result of Hurricane Jean, which continues to threaten the coast. Most notable among these, Kentucky and Florida down in the swamp. First of 4 straight home games for the Gators, moved to 11:30 a.m. A couple of postponements. Norfolk State and Bethune-Cookman are going to get up bright and early and tee it up at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And the Kentucky-Florida game on ESPN2, originally slated for a 6 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff, now 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. What's going to happen? It will be split national coverage of Kentucky and Florida, Boston College and Wake Forest. No matter which game you get, keep you totally up to date on what's going on in the other one. So many of you will be able to see the Wildcats and the Gators coming up. Nightcap will be Northwestern and Minnesota. Well, last year, 3 ranked MAC teams at the end of the season. Just over a year ago, on September 20th, 3 MAC teams knocked off ranked foes. This year's been a totally different story. MAC teams, all 14 of them, have put together 11 wins, and not a single one of them against a 1A opponent outside of the conference. And the reason for that? Well, possibly a change in the leadership on offenses of many of these teams. And you see the Mid-American Conference with 3 starting quarterbacks this weekend on the NFL, with Ben Roethlisberger getting a start for the Steelers, along with Leftwich and Pennington, normal starters. So that's the good news, I guess, for the MAC, the fact that they are producing some serious talent. But bad news is the fact that the record is reflected, or maybe teams just aren't overlooking anyone from the Mid-American Conference anymore, and you see the abysmal non-conference record thus far. So what happened?
Well, I think they got respect. I mean, you hit on it, Reese. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. They got the respect that they wanted. And so now when teams go to play these MAC teams, Mark, they're game planning. Although you may have gone into a game and said, we're not going to show anything because we don't want to show our blitz package because we got to play Ohio State next week. You can't just walk into these stadiums and walk into Northern Illinois and get a win anymore. They've gotten the respect that they deserved. But now people are taking them seriously, I think.
Yeah, but you can't keep replenishing the well in the MAC. They had some great quarterbacks last year, and I think when you look at the MAC, look at some of the teams that they played this year. You're talking about Georgia, Ohio State, Minnesota, Virginia. They're all undefeated, ranked teams that are up there at the top. And right now they're playing tougher teams. I think if you look at the MAC as a whole, they still have some good quarterbacks. In Toledo, they got Bruce Gradkowski. At Akron, Charlie Fry. They're all ranked high as far as looking down the road for their careers on Sunday. So these are quarterbacks that can still play at the next level.
And Charlie Fry leading his team against Kent State last night. Yeah, he can jump on a box.
Skip a little rope.
He captured a wagon wheel, too.
Yes, he did.
He won the wagon wheel last night. Did Akron in a hard-fought game against Kent State. We continue on in the Olive Garden Halftime Report. We'll look ahead to another game on the family of networks a little bit later on tonight. Boise State puts the nation's longest winning streak on the line against BYU.
This Halftime Report brought to you by Olive Garden. When you're here, your family.
So, where are you going to go from here?
Probably the penne with meat sauce. Fettuccine with Alfredo.
I meant with your life.
It's Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl with new sauces like roasted garlic Alfredo and creamy 4-cheese marinara. Pick one combination of sauce and pasta, then another. Have all you want for just $7.95. Plus, of course, salad and breadsticks.
I'm in a really good place right now, Dad.
Only at Olive Garden. When you're here, your family.
By anchoring a more powerful 6-liter Power-Stroke diesel engine to its frame, we gave the new Ford Super Duty more pulling power than any other pickup. Enough to lug 17,000 pounds. don't get in its way. This is the next Ford Super Duty. Built Ford tough.
Cold hard fact. Other beers are heat pasteurized at 140 degrees. Coors Light is always frost brewed at an icy 34. Why? Because we know you love cold beer. Coors Light. Our goal, the coldest tasting beer in the world.
Fix It Incomplete for great fit and strong, long hold. Life with more bite.
Welcome back to the Olive Garden Halftime Report.
Boise State owns the nation's longest winning streak at 14 straight. Broncos have won 20 in a row at home in Boise. And tonight, later on ESPN, Boise State takes on BYU, a team that they dropped 50 points on a year ago in Provo. Tim Ryan and Rod Gilmore will have the call.
We're in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains in Boise, Idaho, as college football primetime brings you tonight the number 21 ranked Boise State Broncos against the Cougars of BYU. Hi, everyone. I'm Tim Ryan with Rod Gilmore, and tonight we're going to see this high-scoring Boise State Bronco team. They have been absolutely brilliant again in putting points up on the board, as they always seem to do.
Yeah, no surprise there. I mean, this is a team that's led the nation in scoring 3 out of the last 4 seasons, and guess what? 55 points a game this season. And their offense is really great because they're so confusing. They use a lot of players, they run a lot of formations, a lot of shifting, a lot of motion, and just when they have you confused, that's when they throw the deep ball.
And even with just a new quarterback this year, a new starter, sophomore, Jared Zabransky, and he's just been doing a great job following the great career of Ryan Dinwiddie. Now, BYU, they showed some tough defense against Notre Dame, of course. What about offensively? What can they do?
Well, they're going to need offense. Defense won't get it done tonight. They have their best chance since the opening week to be good on offense tonight. And that's because quarterback John Beck is finally healthy. Against Notre Dame, he was good early on before he separated his shoulder. And he's been trying to get over that the last couple of weeks. Now, he's feeling better. He threw very well in practice last week. I think you're going to see the strong arm that he has tonight, that quick release, and all those things that make him a special quarterback to give BYU a chance to score some points tonight.
Well, it should be a high-scoring battle again. It's Boise State and the Broncos against the Cougars of BYU. It's coming up on ESPN.
All right, Tim, Rob, we'll look forward to hearing from you guys. And this is where Jared Zabransky, the Boise State quarterback, grew up. On the family farm, they raised a lot of potatoes there. Jared's known to drive the potato truck to the plant every now and then to deliver them. He's stepping in for Ryan Dinwiddie, but feared that he might have to step in for a much larger presence in his life.
My father produced everything from wheat to potatoes. He contracted the West Nile virus. You know, for all I knew, my dad was dying, but you know, it was a hard time.
Be able to hear Zabransky's entire story during halftime of the Boise State-BYU game. Also looking forward to seeing him play, guys. And Boise State, one of the teams that we've identified in the early part of the season, is potential BCS busters. And these guys have challenged the pollsters to give these teams their due. And you take a look at the way teams have moved. Utah didn't move at all. Fresno moving up a little bit. Boise State and Louisville likewise. So what do you make of this? Is this a signal that there is a ceiling for this type of team?
Well, Utah should have moved, and Fresno State should not have moved. I swear to you, the pollsters, Mark, if you look at the pollsters, I guarantee you, they have no idea what they voted on last week.
But if Fresno State should have moved the previous week, is this a little bit of a makeup call?
Well, it has to be, because I think we called them out on the carpet last week. Maybe they're finally paying attention to people that know what they're talking about. The bottom line is, but here's another instance. If you look at last week, Iowa's rated. Arizona State's not rated. They thoroughly took about Iowa 44-7, and Iowa's still rated, and Arizona's not ranked? Come on.
You have got to pay attention. Pollsters have got to understand. You've got to take seriously the fact that you vote. If you don't want to vote, turn it in. Let us vote. Let people who watch the games vote. This is important, Reese.
Yeah, with two-thirds of the BCS formula now, it's very important, more important than ever.
Yeah, and I think the other part is they don't want to admit that they made a mistake. If you're not ranked in the preseason, we're not going to rank you high. We're not going to move you up the chains if you deserve it. That's a big mistake. You've got to move the correct teams up. You have to totally reevaluate your stance between the time you go into the season until the season starts and you play the game.
But something, Reese, very few things Reese has taught us in these 3 years we've worked together, but the one thing he has taught us, Mark, is this fact. It becomes less fluid as the season moves on, okay? The first 3 weeks, very fluid. Less fluid as the season goes on, voters. Let me help you out a little bit. As they play more games, less fluid now. Just relax.
You know what? I think that the reason I say that is because Times look at it, I believe, as if somehow they predicted wrong, therefore they're not smart, so they don't move teams around.
Right.
It's a reflection. It's not a prediction.
Exactly.
So, but you don't give it
One
November
thing in closing, here's some advice. When a team loses, move them down. If a team continues
well,
to
they
win,
do that.
move them up. No, they don't.
Well, they didn't move Iowa far enough down.
There's
no question about that.
It's all about the name.
It's a fluid situation.
We've had a very good first half in DeKalb. Todd DeBacco was right on his deheado. Bowling Green and Northern Illinois tied at 7.
When we forged the frame rails of the new Ford Super Duty with thicker gauge steel than any other pickup, we gave it more payload than any other pickup. 5,800 pounds. Who's your daddy now? This is the next Ford Super Duty. Built Ford tough.
The Sharp Aquas Liquid Crystal Television. Suddenly, there's more to see.
Science Today, U.S. researchers announced a major breakthrough in the treatment of one of the...
Flight 482 preparing for boarding gate.
Bowling Green State University, the caliber of education needed to empower the next generation.
People like Hooters for college football. People love Hooters for pro football. People love nothing more than a Saturday with the coldest beer in town. Except a Sunday with world-famous wings. People go to Hooters for Thursday nights. They go for Monday.
Hey, guys. We're the reason people come to Hooters.
Hooters is football. Get to Hooters for specials anytime football is on.
Terry, this isn't fair. Those girls win every time.
Hey, haven't you noticed? They have better equipment than us.
At Dunkin' Donuts, our croissants and bagels are freshly baked every day. It's one reason every breakfast sandwich we serve is so delicious and satisfying. Try one today. They take freshness to a whole new level.
This halftime report brought to you by Olive Garden. When you're here, your family.
They take their football seriously in the Steel City. Penn Hills and Central Catholic. Central Catholic, number 8 in the nation, according to USA Today. Number 1 team in the state. Penn Hills, number 3 in the state. This is Penn Hills in the white, and they give it to old Ed Collington. Watch Ed rumble.
For a big guy, look at the speed of this player. Going down, if nobody's going to catch him, big, powerful back like that, he should be at the next level already in college. He's only in high school.
Went for 110 yards last week, went for 72 there, 7-0 Penn Hills. But Shane Murray to Tony Colazzi.
Great job of reacting to the football. DB never turned around. Touchdown there for Tony.
And here is Murray again, this time looking for Charlie Totten and the senior quarterback. Beautifully thrown ball in there. You know, Central Catholic, quite a history of quarterbacks. Who played there, Mayday?
A guy named Dan Marino.
He wasn't bad. Mark Bulger played there, too.
Not bad.
Not bad either. 32-14, Central Catholic living up to their billing at the moment with the 18-point lead over an arch rival. Both of these teams undefeated. And as mentioned, Central Catholic, number 8 in the country. Penn Hills, number 8 in the East Region, according to USA Today. So this is a matchup of 2 of the premier high school programs in the country. 2 of the better programs in the MAC. Bowling Green, Northern Illinois, locked up at 7. Second half's not far away.
So, where are you going to go from here?
Probably the penne with meat sauce. Fettuccine with Alfredo.
I meant with your leg.
It's Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl with new sauces like roasted garlic Alfredo and creamy 4-cheese marinara. Pick one combination of sauce and pasta, then another. Have all you want for just $7.95. Plus, of course, salad and breadsticks.
I'm in a really good place right now, Dad.
Only at Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Hi, I'm Karen from Infrastructure DB.
Unhand my winter fresh go.
Oh, yes! Oh, yes!
Winter Fresh Network, where icy cool breath is always on.
On DVD Tuesday.
I'm gonna fix this town.
We'll see about that.
Walking Tall delivers.
Let's go.
Rock solid action. The Rock. Walking Tall.
On DVD Tuesday.
When my father bought the life insurance, he was thinking about us, that we were going to be okay, even if you were not here. Our Prudential insurance agent was there to answer the questions that we had, to provide my mother with the reassurance that we didn't have to worry about financial matters. The planning that my dad did meant that I could finish college. That was something that my dad really wanted for me. Because of the Prudential life insurance, some of the time I think my dad is still taking care of us.
Welcome back to DeKalb, Illinois. Surprisingly, more fireworks in the sky than in the game. We thought we'd have a high-scoring affair, but it's 7-7 at halftime, Bowling Green and Northern Illinois. When you think of the MAC, you think of fireworks, especially on the offensive side of the ball. With more on that, let's go to Rob Stone.
Well, Dave, for the first time in MAC history, 2 players were selected in the first round of April's NFL draft. More and more next-level players are participating in the MAC, which means these teams now need to reload. For example, Michael, the Burner, Turner, left Northern Illinois as their all-time leading rusher. This year, he's already played in both games for the NFL San Diego Chargers. Falcon QB Josh Harris won a MAC West title. Now he's on the Ravens practice squad. Jason Babbitt led Western Michigan, 15 sacks. He was a first-rounder for the Houston Texans. Marshall wideout Darius Watts, second-round pick by the Broncos. He has 2 receptions this year. And Ben Roethlisberger, the 11th overall selection, makes his first start this weekend for the Steelers. So here are their replacements. 2 of them on the field tonight. Omar Jacobs, yeah, he's doing pretty well, 12 of 16, including a touchdown. A.J. Harris working on another 100-yard gain. He also has a score. 2 more of those players will be on display Wednesday night when Marshall hosts Miami of Ohio right here on ESPN2, 7 Eastern. And guys, we are seeing more and more of an NFL scout presence at these MAC contests, and for good reason.
Well, hey, one of the best quarterbacks, Rob, in the NFL right now, Chad Pennington, played in the MAC. As you look at the numbers for Omar Jacobs, who's having a pretty good day for a quarterback, and Byron Leftwich has Jacksonville off to a 2-0 start. He was a quarterback in the MAC, obviously, at Marshall.
And that kind of success with quarterbacks breeds success. Recruits want to come to this division, to this conference, because they want to be part of that legacy. In the MAC, quarterbacks learn how to throw the ball in pro-style offenses against very multiple defenses. And the youngest of those quarterbacks, Ben Roethlisberger, will be the first Pittsburgh Steeler rookie to start in September since Terry Bradshaw back in 1970.
Garrett Wolfe takes it on one hop and takes off. Great play at the 35-yard line to keep Wolfe from maybe going for a touchdown. Dave Pasch alongside Trevor Matich here at Husky Stadium in DeKalb, and Trevor, Bowling Green marched down the field and scored on its first drive, but what happened after that on offense for Bowling Green?
That's the right question, because we expected textbook offense in this game. Instead, we've gotten textbook defense. Bowling Green does not have a pass completion over 18 yards. Northern Illinois doesn't have one over 12 yards. Both defenses are forcing both offenses to chip away little by little down the field, and they're keeping them out of scoring position.
Horvath going deep, and he's got Sheldon wide open. First down at the 26.
And that's what we were talking about. That's what the defenses prevented up until this point. And the adjustment at halftime now, if you look at the top of your screen, you can see Sheldon. He's going to go straight down the sideline. And this is an adjustment at halftime. John Bond, offensive coordinator, said enough of this dinking and dunking in 12-yard completions. Let's take a shot over the top.
42-yard pickup. Bill Horvath to Dan Sheldon. Great numbers for Horvath, going to the air again. And has another man wide open at the 20-yard line. It's Chatone Powers.
And he's still going. Dragging Falcons with him to the 17 for 8 yards.
They didn't even take a shot like this in the first half. They had a couple intermediate shots, but nothing like this. And so now you've got the All-American punt returner from 2 years ago, beats the jam on the line, and Jelani Jordan, and that's why he gets so much separation. Jordan thought he could get a jam, but Sheldon went right by him, created the separation, big play.
Running play to Wolfe. As A.J. Harris, the Mac's leading rusher, who replaced Michael Turner, went to the Chargers, is still out of the game with injury. And Wolfe gets several on that carry, so it'll bring up second down and short.
And that's one of the things that throwing it over the top does for a running back like Garrett Wolfe, Dave. He's only 5'7", 174, a little scat back. He won't be successful against a packed-in defense anticipating A.J. Harris. Throw it over the top, you back him up.
Check that first down after the pickup by Wolfe, and he's the lone back. And gets another chance. Trying to sprint to the outside. And wrestled down at the 10-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play. Daniel Sales, who had a big hit on Wolfe on the goal line to keep Northern Illinois from a second score, makes the play there.
And once again, the lead blocker, tight end Jake Nordine, who has been instrumental in the success of the running game so far for Northern Illinois today. And that play called specifically for a scat back. Garrett Wolfe starts to the right, cuts all the way around left end.
Wolfe missed all of last year due to academics. On second down and 5, Wolfe hammered to the turf, about 2 yards shy of the first down marker, so it'll bring up third down and short. This is the MAC opener for both these schools. Northern Illinois under Joe Novak at 1-2 with narrow losses to both Maryland and Iowa State. Greg Brandon's team, 1-1, played pretty well on the road at number 2 Oklahoma, lost by 16 points. Those games are in the past. Only 2 bowl bids are handed out to MAC teams, so this game very important. Both teams are in the West Division. And Horvath going to the end zone, incomplete. Normally bowl bids are handed out to the winners of the East and Western divisions, and the winner of this game is in good position. The loser's in big-time trouble, and now Northern Illinois is going to have to settle for a field goal after that third down incompletion.
And that's what we saw last year. Last year, Bowling Green beat 14th ranked at the time Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois won 10 games, but because of that defeat and their loss to Toledo, their victories over Alabama and Maryland did them no good in the bowls.
Here's true freshman Chris Mendick, and he pokes that one through to give Northern Illinois a 3-point lead. Frosch has only missed once in 6 attempts this year. He gives his team a 3-point lead.
Electronic four-wheel drive. Vehicle stability assist with traction control. And an available navigation system with off-road tracking. The 265 horsepower Acura MDX. Its heart's in the right place, even if you're not.
It's chilly out there, so prepare. Prepare like never before. For the kind of chili that rattles your bones and shakes you to your core. The forecast is chilly. Bring it on. That's what the true fans say. A goosebump-raising chili that gets inside you and steals your breath away. Introducing Campbell's Chunky Chili.
Step up and get your Goodyears. Get to Goodyear's American Dream Tire Sale for low prices on Goodyear tires. Buy 4 selected Goodyear tires and get a $50 U.S. savings bond. Get more bang for your buck. Get your Goodyears today.
Sorry, I was driving too fast.
No, my fault. You must be gelling, like Magellan.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles are so soft, they make any shoe feel outrageously comfortable. Are you gelling? Dr. Scholl's.
Guess I win.
Funny how a quality beer can turn a bad hand into a winner.
Samuel Adams, always a good decision.
Well, when you have a rivalry game, you know wild things are going to happen. First, the pogo stick comes out. The ball hits the goalpost. The official can't find his flag. That can't feel good when you look and all you see is black because your helmet is turned around.
And you talk about hitting in this rivalry game. That's Keon Newsom against Oklahoma in the opener. He had an interception return for a touchdown. He stripped an Oklahoma tight end of the football that led to Bowling Green's first touchdown. And this is the game where he gets hit so hard that his helmet gets twisted sideways.
Short kickoff, taken to the 25, and a nice play there to cut down the runner at the 27-yard line. Pete Winovich brought it back to the 27 for Bowling Green. So 3-point lead for Northern Illinois after Chris Nendick, true freshman from Naperville, Illinois, kicks a field goal. And now we'll see what Bowling Green can do on offense in its first opportunity of the third quarter.
Well, we saw the adjustment that Northern Illinois did. They threw it over the top right away. Bowling Green has not done that in the first half. Let's see what they do now.
Jacobs on first down. Has Sanders across the middle to the 31-yard line. A lot was made about the crowd coming into this game. It was a big factor 2 years ago when Northern Illinois beat Bowling Green. The players and the coaches talked heavily about that this week. They've been pretty quiet for most of this game.
Well, they absolutely have been very quiet, and it's a good thing for Bowling Green. There's a 5-yard distance between the bench and the student section, 15 feet.
Greg Brandon, the head coach for Bowling Green, told us that they have to avoid distractions this week because that's what killed them 2 years ago. And they've done a good job of that so far as Ken West makes a play on P.J. Pope, making it 3rd down and 3.
Well, Bowling Green, since that road game where the crowd disrupted them 2 years ago here, has played at Purdue and won against the 16th ranked Boilermakers, at Ohio State, and then at Oklahoma in this year's opener. And the crowd noise now is not nearly as new and disruptive in a big game as it was 2 years ago.
On 3rd and 3, Jacobs hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Sanders should have had it, but he couldn't hang on. And Cole Magner is yelling at him, his teammate telling him, hang on to the football.
Well, we're seeing no adjustment whatsoever in that first series by Bowling Green. They have an empty backfield. They trust their 5 offensive linemen to protect. In this case, they don't, and it works out to Northern Illinois' advantage again, just like it did the first half.
Jacob should have had that one complete, but now Nate Fry will come on and punt it away for Bowling Green on 4th down and 3. Dan Sheldon, who averaged 23 yards per punt return in 2002 to lead the nation, is back. And he's going to get a chance, but he's met immediately as he pulls it in. Great hit by T.J. Carswell on special teams.
That's a starting safety coming down on coverage. There's no halo rule this year. That went out last year. That's one of the reasons that 2 years ago, with the halo rule, Sheldon was an All-American. Now it's a little tougher to get that space. All you have to do this year is allow him to catch the ball securely and then make a move, and that's just about all Carswell gave him.
Former linebacker started every game there last year for Bowling Green. First down to the 25-yard line, and Garrett Wolfe still in the game, and a great job up front to open up a huge hole, and a gain of 8 or 9 on the play for Garrett Wolfe. We talked about the importance of this game and the MAC West. You look at the upcoming schedule for Northern Illinois, and that November 9th game on ESPN2 against Toledo is a big one. Obviously, they got a lot of games between now and October, or make that November 9th, but that one will be huge against Toledo, which was picked to win the MAC West. Wolfe again on 2nd down, and he picks up the first down to the 37-yard line. Brad Williams on the tackle.
Go.
Well, now we're back to Northern Illinois football. We're back to Joe Novak, grind it out. They're able to do this now because of the score. Being up by 3 points, they're in no hurry. There's no need to keep up with Bowling Green in a shootout, and so they're able to play Joe Novak football. He learned this in the cradle of coaches, Miami of Ohio, with Bo Schembechler, Woody Hayes, all that old school group. And Joe Novak is as old school now as he ever was.
Horvath on first down has time and then throws it away. Let's get an injury update. Check in with Rob.
Well, guys, the Huskies are going to be going without A.J. Harris for the rest of this game. According to the head trainer, ankle just too tender when he's trying to jog on it, make some cuts, and they've ruled him out.
All right, Rob, so the starting quarterback, Josh Haldy, is out. Bill Horvath started his third consecutive game, and A.J. Harris, the starting running back, and the Max leading rusher is out. And the sophomore from Chicago, Garrett Wolfe, will fill in and has had a couple of nice runs back-to-back. Gets it on second down, and no chance for Wolfe there as he's dragged down by Mitchell Crossley. Well, A.J. Harris played pretty well before getting hurt.
He did. He's got speed. He's got power. A.J. Harris is able to line up outside, catch passes, and he's able to make holes when there aren't holes. He can get the tough yards because he's got the side and the speed, and when he limps off the field, they lose the dimension of the power. Wolfe still has quickness, but they lose the power.
Yeah, Wolfe's only about $1.75, and that's probably on a day where he's eating about 10 hamburgers. Third down and 14. Only a three-man rush, and Horvath, what a grab! Sam Hurd with an excellent reception inside the 40-yard line. A.J. Harris loves that 26-yard pickup.
He's 6'3" tall. He gets behind one corner in front of the safety, and the ball's way up in the air. Give Horvath credit for knowing where to throw it in that particular matchup and for the accuracy of hitting him there.
Great night for Sam Hurd. Gives Northern Illinois a first down at the 42-yard line. 5 catches for 59 yards for Hurd. Here's Wolfe off the edge. Wolfe outruns everybody. Touchdown Huskies.
Garrett Wolfe with the 42.
When you've got a little guy, you try to get him to the edge, and when he's able to burst through, then his size doesn't matter so much as his quickness. They negate the lack of size by hitting that corner.
4th touchdown of the year for Wolfe, 2nd rushing. And Chris Nendick on for the PAT. 10 points in 6.5 minutes for Northern Illinois. Garrett Wolfe, the sophomore, filling in for the Max leading rusher. A.J. Harris sprints 42 yards for a touchdown. And the Huskies lead by 10. And his fallen comrade, A.J. Harris, rooting on Wolfe.
One of the game's greatest players has engaged in a variety of acts which have stained the game.
Hustle, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
So you're a guy who wants to get the girl, but you've got oily skin. So you get Nivea for Men Oil Control to get rid of oil and the shine. And get the confidence you need to get the girl. Got it? Good. Nivea for Men. More evolved skincare.
Riblets, riblets, riblets. Applebee's has riblets. All that you can eat now, riblets.
Hurry into Applebee's, because even though the riblets never end, this offer does.
I
Okay, I've got you in a window seat on flight 321 to surprising your parents with a visit from their daughter, the big city lawyer who never calls anymore. And, oh, when are you going to be like your sister, finally settle down and give us some grandchildren? But listen, sweetie, we still love you no matter what. Leaving out of gate D7. Will there be anything else? No. Return flight? On the hour. Good luck.
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines.
Wow, new cherry Pepto. I love cherries.
Now there's a Pepto flavor everyone will love, and that's reason to dance. Look for it today.
Audiences are dying, critics are gushing, and the masters of horror and sci-fi are losing their heads over the scariest and funniest movie of the year.
So drunk.
Shaun of the Dead.
Get off me!
Rated R. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
ESPN2's College Football Prime Time. Brought to you by Acura. Experience the performance today at your local Acura dealer.
Well, Garrett Wolfe missed all of last year due to academics. He came into camp last year as the backup to Michael Turner. But because of the academic problems that opened a door for A.J. Harris to be the backup, Harris is hurt. Wolfe steps in and gets his second rushing touchdown of the year, giving Northern Illinois a 10-point lead. B.J. Lane takes the kick at the 5. And Lane past the 30. And the kicker makes the play. How about that? Nendick, the true freshman, keeps Lane from getting about 50 or 60 on the return. 39 yards as it is for B.J. Lane.
Well, here he waits. This is Nendick, and he does not want to make this tackle. He does a good job, and give him credit for throwing his body in there. But no kicker in the world wants to see a returner with a full head of steam coming right at him.
Omar Jacobs, the Bowling Green quarterback, has great field position to start from the 44. And he slings it out to the near side for Sharon, who is drilled out of play at the 48-yard line by Lionel Hickenbottom. Big hit. But Sharon hangs on to the ball. And it's a gain of 8 on the play.
Let's see if this was a spear. Let's look at the helmet.
That's a penalty.
That could have been, but that is a judgment call. The official can call that if he thinks that it's lowered enough to be a spear. That time the judgment was that it was okay.
Second down and 1. And Jacobs going to the other side for Magner. And a great play in the backfield. Hickenbottom again. How about that exchange between Hickenbottom and Ray Smith?
Well, Hickenbottom, his nickname is Boogie. He is a very animated player, and he's one of the most instinctual football players on this field. And he's excited about being there. That is Ray Smith, the safety. Those guys getting together. You know they've done that before.
That is not, even though he was boogieing there, that's not why he got the nickname. He's a campus DJ. Rob will have more on that coming up after this play. Third down and 1 at the 47-yard line. Big play here for Bowling Green. Needs to regain some momentum. And taking off is Jacobs. Great call. First down and more. Jacobs still going. Inside the 20. Stepped out of play at the 24. Out of bounds at the 24-yard line. With more on Boogie, let's go to Rob.
Well, guys, his teammates nicknamed him Boogie for his prowess on the dance floor. This is a guy who knows his music, like you said, Dave. After auditioning, he won a coveted DJ spot on the school's internet radio station, nsradio.com. He co-hosts an R&B hip-hop show Monday through Wednesdays, 8 to 10 p.m. It's called The Block. He has listeners from DeKalb, Bahamas, Brazil, and he gets paid to boot guys. $5.25 an hour, still goes a long way on campus.
That's more than we're making to do this game, so that's pretty good. First down to the 24, and we've got penalty flags.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. Number 62, 5-yard penalty. He'll down yet.
And look at the offensive line. They're going to run this way. The running back, Pope, is going to go this way. The quarterback is going to come on out, and the whole defense is going to follow the run fake to the right. This is a little boogie in here. Make a little boogie there and a little boogie here. There's no music, but I'll tell you what, that's a beautiful song.
Yeah, you don't need music for that run by the sophomore quarterback Omar Jacobs, taking over for Josh Harris, who was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. And here, a strike to Sharon at the 22-yard line, or make that a gain of about 7 yards on the play. But Jacobs replaced Josh Harris, who last year in this game, Trev, threw for 438 yards. He was the number 3 quarterback in the country in terms of total offense.
We almost get a hand up in the air to block that. Quince Holman, he's usually a defensive end. They moved him inside because Eric Pittman is injured and can't play today. That's a nice play on his part.
2nd down and 8. They go back to the inside running play. And Pope lowers his shoulder and picks up the first down to the 12-yard line. B.J. Lane on the carry. Gain of 9 yards. Ray Smith on the tackle.
Well, when you need yards, where do you go? You go right over your center, Scott Murkowski. And they've done that an awful lot now. When they've needed big yards, they've taken it right up the middle.
Greg Brandon's team down 10. The head coach for Bowling Green, coming off an 11-win season. Replaced Urban Meyer, who's now at Utah. A lot of good coaches have come through Bowling Green, including Don Nealon, Doit Perry a long time ago. First down at the 12, and Jacobs is trapped and does well to get 2 or 3. Hickenbottom on the stop. Boogie against Boogie there.
And credit to Boogie and of Northern Illinois' defense. To read the last Boogie, this was the same play they ran for that first down to the left. They ran it back to the right. The offensive line will go one way, and they fake the handoff, and then this time, Jacobs boogies off to the right. But number 9, Boogie Higginbottom, is waiting for him this time around.
2nd down and 7. Just inside the 10. Good numbers for Jacobs throwing the football. And he has a rushing touchdown. And here he takes off inside the 5 and down to the 3-yard line. Javen Lee made the stop. Going to be very close to a first down.
And now we find the offensive adjustment, or one of them, from Bowling Green at halftime. It's not to go over the top with long passes like Northern Illinois did. It's to do a lot of play fakes by Jacobs and have him carry the ball. Now, that's risky because it exposes him to injury, but it also takes advantage of the heavy pursuit of that Northern Illinois defense.
Because each team is taking so much time with the ball, you think Bowling Green needs to get 7 here, or are they okay just getting 3, Trev?
Well, it's 17-7 right now. They could get away with just 3. That puts them in position to tie with another touchdown. But they're so close now, they'd like to punch this in.
The way this game is going, with 6-7-minute drives every time somebody gets the ball, especially Northern Illinois of late, and you don't know if you're going to get in this position this close to the goal line again. We have not seen big plays through the air, with the exception of that one pass play earlier this quarter by Northern Illinois. The big plays for Bowling Green have come on the ground. And they are short, so it's 3rd down and inches. Northern Illinois was stopped down here earlier in the game. Let's see what they do here with Bowling Green having the ball, as Jacobs has enough and picked up almost 2.5 yards there. Brian Atkinson made the tackle. We talked just a moment ago about the stand by Bowling Green's defense in the first half.
And they're on the 1-yard line. They get a full head of steam, but with the smaller running back, A.J. Harris is already out. That's Garrett Wolfe, and he's not able to drive it home. That was a huge stand because it kept Bowling Green from getting 7 points.
It'd be 24-7 right now, Northern Illinois, if Greg Brandon's team hadn't come up with that stop. So first down and goal.
I misspoke. I meant Northern Illinois. You're right.
Jacobs plows forward, and he is in. Touchdown, says the line judge, but there's a penalty flag down. There is a flag down to the 5-yard line.
Illegal formation on the offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
There needs to be 7 on the line. And so what we can't see is on the outside, the wide receivers, there's a wide receiver that is not up on the line. That's the problem that we run into here, and that's what was called.
You also have the right tackle with his right foot sticking back, and they will call that from time to time.
Well, if his right foot being so far back, it draws his head back. His head has to break the center's belt, the plane of the center's belt. So he can put his right foot back as long as his head is still up far enough.
Still first down and goal, but the ball's back at the 6-yard line. Jacobs and more flags. This has not been a good series for Bowling Green inside the 10.
Delay the game on the offense. Number 4, that's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Greg Brandon can't believe it.
Well, they signal in the plays. And we don't know if Jacobs was late and slow in getting it called once he got it, or if the coaches took too long to signal it in that time. That's why their no-huddle offense isn't always a hurry-up offense. They spend time at the line of scrimmage, that time too much.
It's a lot like the old Buffalo Bills offense. Sometimes they get up their no-huddle, but then they wait till there's 3 or 4 seconds on the play clock before they snap. Here they get it off with about 9, and Jacobs nearly throws an interception. Rob Lee might have been surprised that the ball was there, as that one was way overthrown. But Bowling Green survives a scare in a 2nd and goal.
And that was the first passing mistake that we've seen Jacobs make. That was the first actually bad pass. Thrown too far outside. So far outside, the lead didn't have a chance to pick it off, which was fortunate.
Jacobs with 10 career touchdown passes and only 1 interception, playing in his 7th game at quarterback for Bowling Green. 2nd and goal from the 11. Jacobs with time. Lobbing. Out of play. Magner, the intended receiver. And good coverage down there by Adriel Hansbrough.
Well, he had one-on-one with Magner up at the top. The question is going to be, though, might he have been able to run? When he sees that man coverage, he knows he's got the fade. But look how everything opens up in front of him. And he could take off and gain a few yards. At the same time, I can't fault him for going for man coverage in the corner.
3rd down and goal. Jacobs again with time. Everybody's covered. Jacobs trying to make a play. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down and goal. P.J. Pope, the intended receiver. And I would assume that Bowling Green will kick a field goal here with 4th down and goal from the 11, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, and you know, they had 1st and goal at the 1. 2 penalties pushed them back. Neither one was a penalty of play. They were both administrative penalties. One, a delay of game, another, an illegal formation. Otherwise, they had a good shot at a touchdown.
27-yard attempt for the active leading scorer in the Mid-American Conference, Sean Swisham. Nearly blocked, but Swisham gets it to go, and Bowling Green pulls within 7. 17-10 home team in the Mid-American Conference opener.
Electronic 4-wheel drive. Vehicle stability assist with traction control. And an available navigation system with off-road tracking. The 265 horsepower Acura MDX. Its heart's in the right place, even if you're not.
U.S. researchers announced a major breakthrough in the treatment of one of the...
Flight 482, prepare signal boarding with gate.
Bowling Green State University, the caliber of education needed to empower the next generation of...
Before broadband, I was far from efficient online, and soon I was becoming less efficient in other ways. But that all changed when I got Comcast high-speed internet. Comcast has the best stuff right where you need it. No more wasted time, because there's no phone lines like with dial-up or DSL, so everything's faster and more efficient. Like me.
That was then. This is Comcast.
So, what do you think?
I think I need something faster.
Faster? You know how much horsepower this thing has?
1?
Yeah, about that.
Some things just don't compare.
Where you going?
Like Comcast high-speed internet versus DSL. Comcast is up to 3 times faster.
Get connected for $19.99 a month for 4 months. Call 888-4-BEST-TV.
Back in DeKalb, the Falcons have now made it a 7-point game. Yesterday, Bowling Green's team buses made a pit stop in South Bend, Indiana. They visited the College Football Hall of Fame. Now, when you are voted into the top 20 of the ESPN USA Today coaches poll, what they do is they put your helmet next to the ranking in the hall. Well, in 2002, Bowling Green was voted in for the first time in their school's history, but the hall didn't have the helmet waiting. So what did they do? They took a Syracuse helmet, doctored it up to make it look like one from the Falcons. And Dave, you know where this is going, don't you? It's the only time your alma mater's helmet's going to be in there for a long time.
And obviously they weren't that year, but they have a few more wins than Colgate last I checked.
You know, he can say that to you when he's all the way down there on the field.
Well, I've got you here as my bodyguard just in case he tries to pull something. Wolfe and Hickenbottom to return Sweesham's kickoff. And Wolfe will take a knee. Now, Syracuse is struggling against the teams in the Big East and against teams in other leagues. Beat Cincinnati last week, but you have schools like Cincinnati and Louisville and Bowling Green in Northern Illinois that have pulled upsets in the past. And, man, Bowling Green had an opportunity with the first down and goal at the 1-yard line, but went backwards.
Yeah, and you got to remember what's at stake in this game. The loser probably will not be able to go to a bowl game. They'll still have an outside shot, but those penalties loom large.
Yeah, the MAC with only 2 bowl guarantees as Sheldon takes the inside handoff and does well. Gets about 9 or 10 on the play. The Motor City Bowl and the GMAC Bowl take MAC teams automatically, usually the winners of the East and West Division. Both these teams are in the West, so the loser may be in trouble.
And the MAC has done well in those bowls. Last year in the Motor City Bowl, Bowling Green beat Northwestern, and in the GMAC Bowl, Miami of Ohio with Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback knocked off Louisville, and so they do well in the postseason when they get an opportunity. It's just that the opportunities are sparse.
And you're seeing these, I guess you could still call them mid-major teams, as Hurd with another leaping catch, banged on a play at the 45-yard line. You're seeing teams like Fresno go in and dominate a Big 12 team like Kansas State. You wouldn't have seen that very often 10, 15 years ago, but we're seeing that very frequently right now. Look at those non-BCS teams in the top 25.
Right, and you've got to be 12 to be considered for a BCS Bowl this year. And so Utah, if they can run the table and a few people losing ahead of them, they may well inch up into that ranking.
And if you're in the top 6, you're guaranteed an at-large spot. And Utah, which is ranked 14th, will have Utah, New Mexico last week. Powers was going to throw, and he had Sheldon open, but he didn't pull the trigger, and Powers fumbles the ball, but it goes out of play. So it will stay Northern Illinois ball. Pipko may have been the man that forced it free. Chatone Powers was going to throw it, and it looked like he had Sheldon downfield, but he didn't let it go.
That took a play out of Bowling Green's playbook. They like to run that double pass or that receiver reverse pass down the field, but it was great coverage by Bowling Green, probably partly because they see it in practice all the time.
Now you talk about non-BCS teams. If you had to pick your biggest surprise, Trevor, so far, which team would it be?
Biggest surprise, I'd say, Utah being ranked this high this early.
Here's Wolfe trying to get to the edge where he did damage earlier. Picks up the first down, and then he fumbled the ball at the 41-yard line. Second straight fumble from Northern Illinois, but the Huskies get it back. Keon Newsom made the hit.
Normally it takes a little longer for a team like Utah to get that high in the polls, but their being there in September now gives them a shot to get into the BCS rankings. As we look at the quickness of Garrett Wolfe, and he takes a hit as he comes through, but that's a very Sanders-looking little scat back that's hitting the corners successfully.
Averaging just under 8 yards a carry. On first down, it's Wolfe again, and not much there as he has stood up at the line, maybe a gain of 1. The biggest surprise to me, sorry, Trey, the biggest surprise to me is the number of BCS teams in major conferences that are major names are struggling, like Michigan. And even though Ohio State is winning, they're not winning easily, but you know, Michigan is struggling. Michigan State can't beat anybody right now.
Well, part of the reason is very fundamental reasons. Speed is a problem. They can't get to the corner. You've got quarterback issues. Right now, Michigan playing with a freshman quarterback, Ohio State with a young quarterback. You don't have the good quarterback play either.
So Iowa last week gets smoked by an Arizona State team that had been underachieving as Wolfe takes it to the 35-yard line. Sales on the tackle. Another interesting year in college football to see how far these non-BCS teams go before there's a loss, and if they get chosen for a BCS bowl if they're in that top 12.
You know, and of course the dream is to go up and play in the Orange Bowl in the national championship, and they're looking right now at USC being the #1 team. Now I'll tell you, USC is starting to come on.
On third down, Horvath finds Sheldon. First down, Northern Illinois at the 26-yard line. Newsom pushed him on a play, but after a 9-yard pickup.
Well, this is great protection and great coordination between quarterback and receiver. Right now, Northern Illinois is showing that even better sometimes than USC is. I mean, Matt Leinart, Heisman candidate. The problem in the early part of the season is that with Mike Williams out, he's got a bunch of young receivers that are not responding well to blitz reads and hot routes. And so it's running back Reggie Bush that has to make all the plays. And so you've got better coordination here now.
Play action, and Horvath looking for Sheldon again. Broken up at the last moment. Jelani Jordan, who sat out last week's game due to injury, with a big play to save a touchdown.
Well, that's part of this adjustment, though, from John Bond going over the top. This is good coverage. Ooh, that could very well have been pass interference. But again, a judgment call, and the official said they were both playing the ball.
9th play of the drive coming up for Northern Illinois. Had a lot of 9, 10, 11, 12 play drives today. Garrett Wolfe trying to bounce it outside, then knifes back through the middle to the 21 for about 5 yards. You know, there are a lot of good-looking running backs in these mid-major conferences. We talked earlier about Michael Turner, who was a 5th-round draft pick from Northern Illinois by the San Diego Chargers. And then you have A.J. Harris this year. He gets hurt. Garrett Wolfe comes into the game. He's already got a touchdown, and he's making guys miss seemingly every time he touches the ball.
And that's against a good and very active Bowling Green defense.
Of those 340 yards, Wolfe has 80 on the ground on just 12 carries. 13 carries now for Wolfe on third down and 5. And there he goes again at the 5. And Wolfe has a touchdown for Northern Illinois.
Garrett Wolfe with the 21-yard touchdown.
Garrett Wolfe right on cue with his 2nd touchdown tonight.
And where they're having the success is on the perimeter. This is where it opens up, and he's able to use his speed, his change of direction, and his shiftiness. Now, that ball gets knocked out, but the officials rule it in.
Keon Newsom poked it free. He's Mr. Forced Fumble. Led the MAC in that category last year as the extra point is good, and that was very close. I don't know if he got in. That thing got popped free about the 1-yard line. And the officials may have missed that. Let's take another look here.
Well, you're right. Keon Newsom, great at forcing fumbles, and he reaches in there, and that doesn't look like a touchdown from that angle. It looks like he's short.
You got to have possession, and that's not even close. That was at the 3-yard line when he lost the ball, and he never got possession back after that.
But then where does the ball go out of bounds? It goes out of bounds out of the end zone, the side of the end zone. That would make it a touchback, and it would be Bowling Green's ball.
So Northern Illinois gets very lucky there, and they have a 24-10 lead now with minute 32 to go in the third quarter. One more look here.
And Keon Newsom, number 17, makes the play. He reaches across with his right hand and bounces it out, and that's about on the 3-yard line. Now watch where this ball goes out of bounds. Inside the pylon, so into the end zone and out the side of the end zone. The rule there should have been touchback, Bowling Green ball, no points, Northern Illinois. Instead, it is ruled a touchdown.
Second one today for Wolfe. Third rushing, 5th overall on the season. And Cole Magner looking for a big return for Bowling Green, but won't get it as he is upended at the 20-yard line. Dustin Utchick with a huge hit.
You can hear that through the Parab mic, and we can hear it all the way up here. That is a loud hit, a hard hit.
So Bowling Green, which has struggled on offense since driving down the field on its first series, 80 yards for a touchdown, has it from their 21. Gain of 6 or 7 on that carry by P.J. Pope.
Well, at some point now, Bowling Green is going to have to open it up. They're getting relatively good pass protection one-on-one with their offensive line. At some point, they're going to have to take some shots down the field and not try to nickel and dime it like they've been doing all game long.
Northern Illinois, of course, knows that's coming. As you see no corners in your screen, they're really giving them an 8 or 10-yard cushion. And Bowling Green takes what the defense gives them, and then another huge hit by Ray Smith on Charles Sharon. But it's a 15-yard pickup and a first down.
But at some point, you've got to back them off even farther because they're backing up, expecting those short completions. Then they come up and make the tackle. And you'll make completions. You'll feel like you're driving. But when you have to move the chains in such short increments, it exposes you to mistakes like the penalties that we saw at the end of the last drive.
Bowling Green, which is a no-huddle team, has first down from the 43-yard line. Play fake, and Jacobs going deep. And the ball is well overthrown, trying for Sharon, who had a step on Adriel Hansbrough. But it's second down and 10.
But I like that call. And it was one-on-one down that sideline. I'd like to see them keep doing it. And Sharon is the one to throw to. If you need a big play made by a Bowling Green receiver, he is the first one to look to.
That's Trevor Maddox. I'm Dave Pash. Rob Stone on the sideline. Northern Illinois with close to 200 yards rushing. And how about that for balance? About 170 yards passing. Big reason why they lead by 14. Jacobs on second and 10. Hand off to Pope. And Pope gets maybe the 47-yard line for about 4 yards. So third down and 5 or 6 coming up. Well, don't go to sleep just yet. We got one whole quarter to go.
Don't those Huskies know they're winning?
They're tired from all the barking.
Don't those Huskies know they're winning?
Now, the fans here outbark the dogs, that's for sure. They are loud on that Bowling Green sideline. They're about 5 yards away, the student section is, from the Bowling Green bench. Jacobs being chased, gets rid of it, and Bowling Green will be forced to punt. Ken West and Travis Moore, the starting defensive ends for the Huskies, put pressure on the quarterback. So we played 3 quarters in the MAC opener for Bowling Green in Northern Illinois, and it's the Huskies on College Football Friday, leading the Falcons 24-10. Garrett Wolfe with 2 touchdowns off the bench for Northern Illinois.
Monday Night Countdown, presented by UPS, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Still have time?
Yeah. Don't miss a moment of action with the Game Bucket deal from KFC. 6 pieces of extra crispy chicken and 6 honey barbecue wings. Plus a free half-gallon Pepsi Mega Jug, all for just $9.99.
Sir, you forgot your mega jug.
Only in Capital USA.
On the job site, I have to take on all the tough jobs and get them done right. So I use more than a tool. I use the RotoZip spiral saw system. Cuts plywood, cuts drywall, cuts countertops, tile, almost anything, with quick, clean cuts every time. And with the all-new features, the original RotoZip just got tougher. RotoZip, tough enough to tackle any job.
At last, you can watch the greatest Star Wars battles on DVD. But what if you could actually live them? Now, you can play all the Star Wars battles any way you want. Introducing Star Wars Battlefront, the video game, now available. Rated T for teen.
If you talk on the phone as much as I... Oh, hold on. Hello? Yeah. Can I call you back? Okay. Singular has a plan. Mom? Hi. Yeah. As I was saying.
At Singular, get our best deal ever. 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes, including rollover. Just $39.99. Hurry in and get a new Motorola camera phone.
I call it my... I gotta take this plan.
Come in to find out how Singular fits you best.
Scent is the strongest sense tied to memory. How will you be remembered? Introducing Red Zone Body Spray in 4 great scents that all last longer than the leading body spray.
He's so great.
Red Zone Body Spray. Spice things up all day, all night.
Start of the 4th quarter here in DeKalb, Illinois. Northern Illinois has opened up a 2-touchdown lead on Bowling Green, and the Falcons are forced to punt on 4th down and 5. The offense for Bowling Green has struggled since an opening drive that went 80 yards for a touchdown. Sheldon going to let it bounce at the 20, and it takes a Bowling Green hop inside the 10, and it'll be down at the 8-yard line. Well, off the bench, Garrett Wolfe, who missed all of last year due to academics, making those Wolves proud. Wolfe with 2 touchdowns tonight, although one of those was controversial as Newsom came up from his safety spot for his 6th forced fumble of the year, but it was ruled a touchdown.
It is ruled a touchdown. There's no replay in the MAC. There is in the Big Ten, and that would definitely have been overruled, in my opinion, had we been in a Big Ten replay style system here.
And since the Big Ten is opening up conference play tomorrow, that'll be employed in all games. There were no plays reviewed among Big Ten schools last week. Here, Wolfe is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Javon Burks, the middle linebacker, gets the tackle for a loss.
Well, that's not where Wolfe has had his success. With Burks in there lurking, if you're A.J. Harris, you can make some space in there. You can drive through and get 4 or 5 yards. But if you're Garrett Wolfe, your success is on the perimeter, as we saw with those long touchdown runs of the last quarter.
2nd down and 10 from the Huskies.
Bowling Green needs a 3-and-out on defense. 2nd and 10 from the 9-yard line. It's Wolfe again, and this time he's able to pick up 6 or 7. Sales on the stop, but it will be a much more manageable 3rd down and short. Don't forget, coming up on ESPN tonight at 10 Eastern, it's BYU and number 21 Boise State, which has won 14 straight. That's best in the country, and 20 in a row at home. 21st in the country. Fresno State ranked 17th. The WAC gets 3 bowl guarantees. Mountain West with 3 also. The MAC only gets 2. Wolfe gets the 1st down as Jelani Jordan brings him down, and If Northern Illinois can win this game, it will put the Huskies in a very good position to get one of those berths.
And it's not the MAC's fault, really, in terms of quality of play that they only have 2 guaranteed bowl berths, because all the available bowl berths have been eaten up, snapped up contractually by the other conferences. The MAC is just recently deep enough to deserve its own.
Wolfe with 115 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. He gets it again, and this time he's taken down after a gain of 1 or 2. Ryan Newble made the play.
You mentioned that BYU game, Dave. Boise is one of the fastest teams top to bottom in the NCAA. That's why they lead the country in scoring, and BYU doesn't match up that well against that kind of team. BYU's a power team, very physical, but top to bottom, they don't have the players to match up speed-wise with Boise. There should be footballs everywhere on that blue turf.
Boise won at BYU 52-10 last year. Horvath's pass caught nicely by Brad Cieslak. Make that Pat Raleigh the backup tight end for a 14-yard gain. Good grab by Raleigh.
Horvath has been spectacular all day long. So precise. Great decisions, great accuracy. Much improved over the first 3 games where he made some bad decisions, had some poor accuracy, and the results were the opposite of what we're seeing here. This game so far, he is 67% completion rate. They only need him to complete 60% to be successful.
Horvath replacing the normal starter, Josh Haldy, who started each of the last 2 years. There's Haldy, who told the coaches that he could play if they needed him, as Wolfe bounces towards the middle of the field after looking to go off right tackle. Picks up about 5 or 6 yards. Well, Haldy's a great leader, and I'm sure the coaches are glad to have him on the sideline tonight instead of in street clothes up in the press box or something.
Well, offensive coordinator John Bond paid Haldy a tremendous compliment when he compared them to former Army quarterback Chad Jenkins, who just got back from Iraq leading a platoon. He said that, like Jenkins, Haldy changes the huddle, the confidence, the leadership is amazing, and both very high in those 2 players.
His confidence and leadership skills have rubbed off on Phil Horvath, who had to replace Haldy on the 4th play of the season opener at Maryland, as Wolfe is off and running for the first down inside Bowling Green territory at the 48-yard line, gain of 5 on the play. Horvath came in for Haldy on play number 4 of the Maryland game. They almost won the game, lost to the Terrapins by just 3. And last week he threw 4 touchdown passes, although he also threw 4 picks. But you can see him settling down and maturing here tonight against Bowling Green.
And especially maturing with his decision making. He has not thrown a ball that we have said was a truly bad decision today.
Back to throw is Horvath. Has tons of time and has Hurd wide open. And Hurd loses it and gets it back. All the bounces going Northern Illinois' way tonight. Sales poked it free, and it goes right back to Hurd for a gain of 6.
And is this a fumble, a catch, a fumble, and a recovery, or is this a bobble and just a completion? I'm not sure how they're going to rule that. Either way, look at all those orange shirts on top of Hurd. He paid the price for that completion.
8 catches for Hurd on the night, had only 6 all year coming into this game. Junior from San Antonio, Texas. 2nd down and 4 at the Bowling Green 42. It's Wolfe. Again taking it to the outside. To the 28-yard line for 14 more yards.
This is a great individual play where he jukes one guy and makes another fall down. As he comes across, it's just a purely broken play. Look at number 5. That's Ted Pepko. He actually falls down trying to keep up with Wolfe.
He makes our sideline guy, Rob Stone, look like Goliath. I had to get Rob back after that Syracuse comment.
Yeah, that's a small Rob reference there. That works.
143 yards for the 5'7", 175-pound Garrett Wolfe. That's generous, too. Play clock under 5. Wolfe again. There he goes again. He has really good vision. He sat there, waited for the blockers to clear the hole, and he picks up about 6 yards.
Look at his Rock'em Sock'em Robot's head. He's going to oh! He gets it knocked back, and then he gets an elbow in the back of the head.
It's a physical game tonight. A lot of aspects. We've seen forced fumbles, big hits on running plays, hits on special teams, huge hits in the passing game on guys going across the middle. You knew it would be physical with these Mid-American Conference rivals squaring off. Northern Illinois with a terrific drive, taking it inside the 25, and Bowling Green has not shown that it can stop the run consistently, although they make a play here as Burks and Sales team up to take down Wolfe. You can understand as A.J. Harris looks on, started the game, but then got injured, and Wolfe has come on and played beautifully. You can understand, Trev, if Bowling Green has other things on its mind. It was only 9 days ago that Aaron Richardson, a walk-on for Greg Brandon's team, in his first practice, 10 minutes in, felt ill and later died at the hospital. Complications due to sickle cell anemia. And you certainly can understand that Bowling Green is thinking about more important things than football, even though they would have loved to have come out here and played a little bit better. Still 8:44 to go, but Northern Illinois has been able to move the ball at will here.
And Bowling Green starting tight end, Steve Navarro, had a stroke. And as you see the number 89 there, they actually gave a signed helmet to Aaron Richardson's mom, the young man who did pass away. Steve Navarro had a stroke, and he fortunately is okay. And he's getting around now, and he should recover relatively fully.
Yeah, Navarro's at the game tonight. The coaches tell us that if you didn't know him, you'd think that he spoke normally. As Wolfe on first down picks up a couple. A tragedy has surrounded these two teams. For whatever reason, a couple years ago, Northern Illinois had a player die. Shea Fitzgerald in the summer of 2003 was a tragic victim of a porch collapse at a Chicago house. Brad Cieslak and Pat Raleigh, two players for Northern Illinois, were at the party with him, and they've had to carry that with them and will for the rest of their lives. And the decal with the number 76 is being worn on all the helmets for Northern Illinois this year. Second down and 8 at the 15-yard line. Wolfe up the gut and sprawling to the 7-yard line, very close to the marker. Ted Pitko with a tackle. And there is Navarro. And hopefully Steve will be back playing football next year. Junior from Orland Park, Illinois. And Rob Stone has been able to track him down. Rob?
Yeah, we are with Steve Navarro. And Steve, take me through that morning when you woke up, as you told me, with the stroke.
I don't know. I just woke up and I don't know. I had the right side of my body numb, and I don't know.
Just 20 years old, guys. Doctors still don't know what caused it. What kind of rehab are you going through right now?
Speech and working out.
Will you be back playing football?
The doctors say no, but I say yes.
Good for you. We're cheering for you, Steve.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you know what? That's the kind of spirit that he needs. You have mind over matter sometimes, and that kind of spirit will help to bring him back even farther. He's taking online courses at a community college, hopes to be back enrolled at Bowling Green in the fall.
Sounds great for someone that just had a stroke a few months ago. He'll be back in school in January. As Garrett Wolfe on first down and goal takes it to the 2 before a flag comes flying in on the far side. Navarro says he'll be back playing football for Bowling Green next year, and I'm sure that Greg Brandon would love to have him back. He was to be the starter at tight end, and they could have used him in this game. The passing game after the first drive in which Bowling Green marched down and scored has been limited. Northern Illinois has done a pretty good job on defense shutting down that deep game.
Yes, they have, and really to overcome all this tragedy, the death of Aaron Richardson, the stroke of Steve Navarro, on the other side, the death of Shea Fitzgerald for Northern Illinois. And boy, you mentioned the closeness of it. Brad Cieslak and Pat Raleigh, two Northern Illinois tight ends, were actually at that house on that balcony, went into the kitchen to get some refreshments just before the balcony collapsed. And it's just such a tenuous thing.
17th play of the drive for Northern Illinois. 5th drive with at least 10 plays tonight for Northern Illinois. As Wolfe takes off, 3 touchdowns. Eight-yard touchdown run for the backup running back, Garrett Wolfe, who replaced the injured number 24, A.J. Harris, earlier tonight. And a slap on the behind from another injured guy, Josh Haldy. How about that? A second-string running back and a second-string quarterback, in Northern Illinois has a 20-point lead. Six touchdowns this year for Wolfe, 4 rushing, 2 receiving. And the true freshman Nendick tacks on 1 more. The Wolfe Express is rolling. 3 touchdowns for the sophomore. 21-point lead for the Huskies.
Cold hard fact. Other beers are shipped warm in rail cars. Coors Light rail cars are always cold insulated. Why? Because we know you love cold beer. Coors Light. Our goal, the coldest tasting beer in the world.
How do you spend quality time with the family without spending a fortune? Why, with Wendy's 99-cent Super Value Menu. From our hot and juicy Junior Bacon cheeseburgers to freshly prepared side salads to cool, creamy Frosties, there's something for everyone. Wendy's, it's better here.
We are rocket scientists. Our mission, to explore the outer limits of power and control. Which explains how we dreamt up a 227 horsepower, turbocharged boxer engine bolted to a symmetrical all-wheel drive system. We've taken performance to a world it's never been before. The Subaru WRX. We have ignition.
Visit your Subaru dealer for 2.9% APR for 63 months on every 2005 Subaru.
Audiences are dying, critics are gushing, and the masters of horror and sci-fi are losing their heads over the scariest and funniest movie of the year.
So drunk.
Shaun of the Dead.
Get off me!
Rated R. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Getting my paws on those delicious s'mores used to be a whole to-do. But Hershey's took their pure milk chocolate and wrapped it around graham cracker bits and chewy marshmallow.
There you go.
So it's easy to get all the s'mores I want.
Hershey's S'mores, a simpler way to enjoy a classic.
Cold hard fact. Other beers are shipped warm in trucks. Coors Light is always shipped cold. Why? Because we know you love cold beer. Coors Light. Our goal, the coldest tasting beer in the world.
A lot to go crazy about here for Northern Illinois fans. The Huskies have been moving the ball up and down the field on Bowling Green in the second half. On that drive alone, Wolfe had 75 of his 176 yards, 13 carries on that drive alone.
And it's great complimentary play calling by John Bond, offensive coordinator, to help Wolfe, because he took some shots down the field in the passing game, which backed off the perimeter of Bowling Green's defense. That created space on the perimeter. Wolfe took advantage of it.
Close to 200 yards rushing this half for Northern Illinois. Cole Magner on the return to the 20. And Magner still fighting for yardage. Past the 30, there's some extracurricular activity going on. Officials will jump in and break it up. Northern Illinois all over Bowling Green, 31-10 with under 6 minutes to play.
We are rocket scientists. Our mission, to explore the outer limits of power and control. Which explains how we dreamt up a 227 horsepower, turbocharged boxer engine bolted to a symmetrical all-wheel drive system. We've taken performance to a world it's never been before. The Subaru WRX. We have ignition.
Visit your Subaru dealer for 2.9% APR for 63 months on every 2005 Subaru.
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. Fullness from a value menu.
He was fine, and then he just stopped eating.
This man is completely full. What was he eating?
A spicy chicken burrito.
He kept going, sound. Are you sure? And fullness off a value menu?
It's the new Big Bell Value Menu, featuring the spicy chicken burrito with shredded chicken simmered in authentic Mexican spices. To keep your stomach and your wallet full, think outside the bun.
Get the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package featuring more than 150 extra games this season. To order, call your local cable company, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
Hi, I'm Jason Roberts, sales manager at Advantage Chevrolet, and here's why we can't be beat.
Because the Clean Sweep sales event is on now only at Advantage Chevrolet. We've got 04s on the ground and 05s on the way, and we need to make room now. Save like never before at Advantage Chevrolet with special Advantage discounts, factory rebates, and available 0% financing. How about an 04 Impala for just $14,870 or an 04 Avalanche C71 4x4 for only $28,898?
We're only minutes away at the corner of Joliet and LaGrange Roads in the Countryside Auto Mall. Thank you for your business.
If you can afford newspaper advertising, you can afford cable TV. Comcast Spotlight can make it happen. And with Comcast Spotlight, you can precisely target the customers you want to reach. So why settle for this when you can have this?
For more information, call your local Comcast Spotlight office.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by the completely reinvented vehicles from the new Subaru. Driven by what's inside. And Taco Bell, home of the new Big Bell Value Menu.
Well, they are staying till the end here at Husky Stadium. Northern Illinois was billing this game as a Falcon fry. And right now they lead the Falcons 31-10 with under 6 minutes to play. First down from the 30. Omar Jacobs as Cole Magner across the middle to the 38-yard line. Check in with Reese Davis in the studio. Reese.
All right, Dave, our high school showcase game of the week takes us to the Steel City again. There is no steel curtain. This is Pittsburgh Central Catholic, number 8 in the nation. Shane Murray, his third touchdown pass. That one to Eugene Jarvis. 39-24 in the fourth.
All right, Reese, so a lot of passing in that game, a lot of rushing in this game. Garrett Wolfe, who has 3 touchdowns, has, in this half alone, 175 yards rushing. Cole Magner caught that last pass, and Bowling Green staying in the no huddle. Northern Illinois goes no huddle on defense, so interesting. We usually don't have that in a game where both teams are no huddle at the same time. Pass complete to the 48-yard line.
The advantage for Bowling Green is that they can usually keep the defense from running their entire package. In the case of Northern Illinois, they're signaling in the defense from the sideline, just like we see Bowling Green's coaches signaling in the offense. There is no advantage.
Jacobs on second down. Finds Magner again, and lost the ball, but was down. Down at the 44-yard line, about a yard shy of the first down. Hansbrough with a tackle. Reminder coming up on ESPN. The nation's longest winning streak is on the line. Boise State has won 14 in a row, 20 straight at home. They're ranked 21st in the country. They play Trevor Matich's alma mater, BYU, coming up.
And BYU is looking for some revenge. Last year, Boise State played BYU and just crushed them.
Jacobs takes off on 3rd down and 1 and has the first down. Barreling the 35-yard line before Jason Hawkins makes the stop. That'll stop the clock as they move the chains. 9 carries, 36 yards for Omar Jacobs. First down at the 35. Bowling Green needs quick scores. And Jacobs waits and finds Sharon. Nice grab at the 20-yard line. 15-yard pickup.
And as importantly, the clock stops with the movement of the chains. 4:09 left. Northern Illinois very happy to trade these yards for those minutes and those seconds.
Trevor, what's happened to Greg Brandon's offense after that first drive where they went 80 yards in about 4 minutes? Only had 3 points since then. As Jacobs again goes to Magner, who grabs it at the 15-yard line. Trip, what's happened to their offense?
Well, what's happened is Northern Illinois has forced Bowling Green to do what they're doing now, which is move the chains 10, 12, 15 yards at a time and wait for a penalty, wait for a sack, wait for an incomplete pass to put them in a difficult position to gain another first down.
They spread it out again. And Jacobs again to Magner inside the 5 and to the 3-yard line for a first down. And again, that stops the clock.
Now they are moving the chains. It will stop the clock. But it's now 3:28. It was 4:09 just a second ago when we mentioned the trading, the moving the chains for the time. It's moving in Northern Illinois' favor.
7 straight completions for Jacobs. First down and goal at the 3. And Jacobs trying to find some running room. Going to be taken down at the 1-yard line. We'll see if Bowling Green elects to call for time. They do have 3 timeouts remaining. Coming up next on ESPN2, WNBA shoot-around, followed by Game 1 of the WNBA playoff series between Los Angeles and Sacramento. Second down and goal at the 2 now. But 30 seconds went off the clock there. And Jacobs is in for his second rushing touchdown. And Bowling Green isn't done yet.
3-yard quarterback keeper from Omar Jacobs.
And they didn't have to burn a timeout on that drive, Trevor.
No, they didn't. And they'll go for 1 here and put themselves within 2 touchdowns of tying the game, possibly going to overtime. But again, they don't have enough time now for two more drives like that. They've got to get bigger plays.
And it's hard when the opponent is just sitting back, knowing you have to throw the ball to score quickly. Suisham on for the PAT. And it's 31-17. Bowling Green does have 3 timeouts left, and Omar Jacobs is still fighting, but they're down 14 points.
Yo, Big! How you doing?
Mark down another hit for ESPN. When you're Pete Rose, you're the guy who broke Ty Cobb's record. Critics say Tom Sizemore plays Pete Rose with manic intensity.
I'm number 14, baby.
Hi, Pete. Open the door!
Who is it? Carol.
Sizemore delivers a masterful performance.
Roll the dice. Take a chance.
Hustle, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Presented with limited commercial interruptions.
Old hard fact. Other beers are heat pasteurized at 140 degrees. Coors Light is always frost brewed at an icy 34. Why? Because we know you love cold beer. Coors Light. Our goal, the coldest tasting beer in the world.
We are rocket scientists. Our mission, to explore the outer limits of power and control. Which explains how we dreamt up a 227 horsepower, turbocharged boxer engine bolted to a symmetrical all-wheel drive system. We've taken performance to a world it's never been before. The Subaru WRX.
We have ignition.
Visit your Subaru dealer for 2.9% APR for 63 months on every 2005 Subaru.
They're in.
On October 8th,
I'm commandeering your vehicle. Follow that car.
Buckle up for safety, mother.
get ready for the ultimate bust.
Freeze!
Damn.
Damn. You took a cab to a bank robbery?
I'm not afraid to live outside the law.
All right, Your Honor!
You're living outside of your mind. That's where you live.
Taxi, rated PG-13. October 8th, only in theaters.
Rush into KFC for a game bucket deal. 6 pieces of extra crispy chicken and 6 honey barbecue wings. Plus a free half-gallon Pepsi Mega Jug, all for just $9.99.
Still have time?
Yeah. Only in
Capital USA!
Not quite a full moon, but the Huskies are howling nonetheless, leading by 14 points. A lot of wild plays in this game.
Wild plays. Even the official can't find his flag. Big hits. Helmets turned sideways. So much at stake. Big hits, big recoveries. Why? Dave, it's because the winner of this game, it has the catbird seat to getting one of the 2 MAC bowl bids. The loser has a long road and probably won't make it.
That's right. The GMAC and Motor City Bowls usually take the winners from the East and the Western divisions. And both Bowling Green and Northern Illinois are in the West. And Toledo was picked to win that division. Bowling Green has to play at Toledo. Northern Illinois hosts Toledo, and Toledo's struggling early in the season, as the onside kick is taken easily by Northern Illinois. So NIU's Rob Lee comes up with it inside the 40-yard line. But Greg Brandon by no means has a bad football team. He's got a very good squad.
He does. He just ran into, I think, a grinder. Not even a buzzsaw, a grinder here. Grinding it out on the ground. Northern Illinois made the big passing plays when they needed to. And Bowling Green just didn't have an answer to that grinder.
Bowling Green does have 3 timeouts remaining. First down at the 38-yard line. Falcons haven't been able to stop the running game as Garrett Wolfe has 3 touchdowns and close to 200 yards rushing. Looking for his 4th score, and he might get it. He's taken out a play just shy of the goal line by Jelani Jordan. They say he stepped out in between the 3 and the 4-yard line.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Take your scat back, move him to the outside. 71 guard Matt McGackey gets a nice block, and then Wolfe just bounces it outside, and once he gets into the clear, that quickness to elude tacklers shows.
Garrett Wolfe didn't start this game, yet still has 211 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Came on for the injured starter A.J. Harris, and struggled in the first half, had a chance to score, but was cut down to the 3-yard line, in part because the offensive line got blown up, but Wolfe has been spectacular since. Over on ESPN, the Yankees lead the Red Sox 5-4, and following that game, more college football. Number 21 Boise State and BYU from Boise.
And that shapes up to be an outstanding game. Boise with all that offense, defense or BYU with a powerful physical team. They hope to pound it right at Boise, and I'll tell you, this is a revenge game for BYU based on what Boise did to them last year.
300 rushing yards for Northern Illinois in this game. 2nd and goal. Wolfe again, and no chance there. Dragged down by Newsom at the 10-yard line, and Newsom's a player. Even though Bowling Green is down 14 points and have given up 300 yards rushing, Newsom has been outstanding. Couple of forced fumbles, now 6 on the year for him. But Bowling Green's down 14, under 2 to go.
What I seek every single day is perfection. I want you to guess how many checks we process each day. Try more than 40 million, more than any other company in America. But what's truly impressive is the accuracy with which we take care of them. I'm Lance Drummond, I'm a banker, and I'm proud to be part of Bank of America. If you weren't a perfectionist, you couldn't do this job. 1 error in a million is simply unacceptable. So at Bank of America, we customize our own equipment. We engineer our own software, create our own quality control systems. To us, this is like an assembly line that is mission critical, meaning 0 defects. This isn't about processing nearly 11 billion checks a year flawlessly. It's a matter of accurately handling 1 single check and then repeating it 11 billion times.
Bank of America, higher standards.
Thanks, I don't need glasses.
Hello, Brady.
Susan.
To Sam. Here with someone.
Yeah. You? Hey, how about a refill, baby? Well, it was nice seeing you.
Don't hit me.
One good decision deserves another. Samuel Adams, always a good decision.
Northern Illinois by 14 points over Bowling Green. As you can see, the stand's still full. They're waiting to the very end before they leave. They get great fan support here, especially from their students, who are located, as you see, just about 5 or 6 yards behind the Bowling Green bench. 25,819 on hand tonight. Most of them still here.
And 2 years ago, when Northern Illinois knocked out Bowling Green on this field, it was a huge advantage to have those students. Bowling Green has handled the crowd well this year, haven't handled the Huskies well.
Nope. And Northern Illinois still going. And Garrett Wolfe, who's rushed for over 200 yards this half, gets taken down at the 12-yard line, so he lost a couple on that play. And Bowling Green will call a timeout.
Well, Garrett Wolfe, all of his rushing yards in the second half, and I credit him for staying with it when he got stopped a couple times early, but when they found the way to use him, which is to hit the perimeter, and all of these long plays are at the edge. John Bond, offensive coordinator, found the play calling that would work for him, and if it ain't broke, Dave, don't fix it. They did not try to fix that, and they didn't need to, because boy, was it not broke. On the outside, hitting the perimeter, 202 yards in one half.
So what do you do if you're Joe Novak? If A.J. Harris can play next week, he looked good running the football. There's Harris on the sideline with an injury. And I get Garrett Wolfe, who's come to the game and rushed for over 200 yards. I guess you really don't have to do anything because you've got two guys that you can go to, and you can split the carries if you have to, but you know either way, somebody can run the football for you.
Yeah, and that allows you to have a fresh running back in the second half. You've got two different styles of back that the defense has to deal with. A.J. Harris, who has good speed, but also is a powerful, driving, bludgeoning running back. And you've got Garrett Wolfe, who's a little scat back that hits the perimeter, can catch little swing passes and turn them into big plays. When you've got two different guys like that for defenses to have to worry about, it's an offensive coordinator's dream.
Well, Joe Novak, the Northern Illinois head coach, has done an amazing job of this program, seeking his 5th consecutive winning season, and this after they just had 3 wins in his first 3 seasons as head coach and had a 23-game losing streak from 96 to 98. Chris Nemdick's field goal try is good, and that makes it a 3-possession game, 17-point lead with 1:35 to go. And Northern Illinois will likely get its 2nd win of the season. And Greg Brandon's Bowling Green Falcons will likely get their 2nd loss. But who knows? Both these teams still could be in the postseason. It'll be difficult for Bowling Green, but you never know what can happen over the last 5 or 6 games in conference play. Bowling Green steps out of conference next week to take on Temple, and that big game on ESPN2, November 23rd at Toledo.
At Toledo, then Marshall in their last year in the MAC before moving on to Conference USA had played Georgia tough. They played Ohio State down to the last play. In Columbus, they will be tough as well. And so the loser of this game, Bowling Green, should they lose, and it looks like it'll be tough to come back, they are not necessarily completely out of the MAC West situation, but it'll be a long road right now, especially because the tiebreaker, if there is a tie, will go head-to-head to Northern Illinois.
Well, 2 straight years that the MAC has had a 10-win team not go to a bowl game, and it'll be tough for Bowling Green and Northern Illinois to get 10 wins, but they both might still get 8 or 9, and one of those teams might get left out. Well, probably will get left out.
The best thing would be if a new bowl were to be created in Indianapolis or St. Louis, geographically advantageous to the MAC.
Onside kick by Northern Illinois, and Bowling Green has it at the 35-yard line. As for the 2nd time, Pete Winovich has had to scoop up the ball. And with a minute and a half left, Greg Brandon's team will take over from the 34-yard line. Garrett Wolfe has been the story tonight.
We're going to be home soon, and we're going to fire you, but I love you, Mom. Again. 4th time.
He has said hello to his mom every time we've shown him, and we've shown him now at least the 3 times he scored touchdowns, and then that would be the 4th. Here's a dump off across the middle. And Cornelius McGrady gets to the 40-yard line.
Well, at this point, nobody seems to be in a huge hurry. I think Bowling Green realizes that time is out here, and this one has slipped past.
Jacobs on 2nd and 5. Again, a short pass, and Magner gets out of play. Now, this matchup is going to go to the home team for the 3rd straight year. 2 years ago, Trev, you talked about that. Bowling Green was number 16 in the country. Northern Illinois won. Last year at Bowling Green, first time 2 ranked MAC teams squared off since 1973. Game day was there. Former Northern Illinois coach Lee Corso was there, but it didn't matter. The Huskies And their current coach, Joe Novak, lost to Bowling Green, and then Northern Illinois getting revenge in 2004. They run the ball, and B.J. Lane picks up the first down. So game day was at...
South of the Big House, and north of the Horseshoe, sits the Joyce. Joyce Berry today sold out for the 4th time in 38 years. Former Husky head coach is going with free to the Falcons. Look at the glove. Look at that in the glove.
Now, last night, Mike Tirico said he looked like Mel Brooks in Blazing Saddles. He looked like a turkey there. Or a falcon. I guess that was a falcon.
Yeah, that's a Corso falcon. I don't know what kind of falcon that would be. But those Falcons won that game. And you talked about the revenge factor. In that game, it was Northern Illinois that came in ranked and had everything to lose, and Bowling Green knocked them off. 2 years ago, it was Bowling Green with everything to lose, coming in ranked 16, and Northern Illinois knocked them off. And so there's this rivalry has meat behind it.
How about Corso, that previous shot there, the ultimate team guy. He's got the letters that spell out Home Depot on his gloves that he put on once he... See, look at that.
Yeah, he's got Home Depot.
Got him on the wrong hand.
Backwards.
Lee?
It's Depot Home. It's Depot Home. I guess he doesn't have the right eye holes in that thing.
Well, I don't think Joe Novak will be going to television anytime soon. In part because he's got a great thing going here in Northern Illinois. Novak signed a 3-year extension earlier this year. Never been a head coach before. Was an assistant here under Bill Mallory. And 22 years as an assistant before he took over as head coach in '96. And as I said, they had a 23-game losing streak. And people here were wondering, maybe we hired the wrong guy. Never been a head coach before. Maybe we made a mistake. But they won 10 games last year, a school record, and they've won 4 consecutive winning seasons. First down to the 33. And Jacobs trying to hit Sharon, and he could not make the catch.
Incomplete.
Hawkins, the intended receiver there. WNBA shoot-around coming up next on ESPN2. And over on ESPN, more college football. Kickoff a few minutes away, Boise State and BYU.
And Joe Novak really has built this program right. After losing or winning 3 games in the first 3 years, he knew that his program worked, that having good fundamentals, bringing in the right kids, the right caliber of character with those kids would eventually turn around. And they went from such a losing streak to 10 wins last year.
Pass caught by number 1 Charles Sharon. And if you look closely, Joe Novak kind of looks like his former college coach, Bo Schembechler.
Just a little bit. He's got that grimace. Even though they're winning, he still is looking for things in fundamentals he wants to coach up.
You know, we asked him, Trev, yesterday, what has been the biggest reason for the turnaround? He said, our kids just believed. He said, last year we went to Alabama and our kids believed they could win, and we did. He said, I was shocked, but our kids believed. And we won the football game. That pass almost picked off by Jason Hawkins.
Well, you know where they get that belief, though, is Lou Holtz's theorem, where confidence comes after performance. So first you get them in the weight room. You see them get themselves stronger. Then they get a little confidence. Then you teach them better fundamentals. They play a little better. They get a little more confidence. And little by little, you build that confidence based on performance in little things coming first. And that's an old-school coach applying an old-school theory Lou Holtz articulates.
And then you make the most of a national television opportunity like tonight. That's certainly going to help in recruiting. As Jacobs looks for Sharon, who couldn't pull it in. And so third down with 16 seconds to go in the game.
Dave, this whole game has been rope-a-dope of Jacobs and this Bowling Green offense. Northern Illinois just sat in the corner and let him punch, let him punch, let him punch, and you know what? They couldn't get in any kind of a knockout shot, and they just punched themselves out on short gains and were never able to put up enough points.
But Bowling Green's still a good football team. Craig Brandon taking over for Urban Meyer. Last year had 11 wins. They may not get 11 this year, but Bowling Green's going to win a lot of football games in 2004. Magner on the catch inside the 10, can't get out of bounds, and that will be the final play of the game.
Welcome to an exciting day on Comcast Sportsnet Chicago. Today's presentation of Northern Illinois football is the first live event to be presented by Comcast.